Also, can I ask a question before we start?
Yes.
Why is everyone wearing the same color except me?
Oh my god! The best bit is I just clicked recording before you started.
No, hold on. The best part is I changed from that color shirt today.
Oh dear. Yeah, we have
We
three
all called each
burgundy.
other
I
ahead of
like a
time.
bit of a brighter red.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
are burgundy.
I'm properly burgundy.
Yeah,
Good
we
lord.
got the maroon colors going on.
That's amazing.
It's
Wow.
actually really funny.
Well, that was a good start to the episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again. I had the most fortuitous timing on clicking record, but welcome back to Black Blades, episode 3. We're a few days late. I know, shut up. But we are going to be playing tonight, and yeah, we're going to be picking up where we left off last time. I don't think there's too much to go through in the intro. You know, of course, about audio version available in the description below. Comment on the video, we read all the comments, check out the subreddit, all of that good stuff. Make sure you're following all the cast on Twitter. We all have relatively amusing Twitters, except Craig's, which is just a travesty. But, well, there's still that beautiful fan art of you as a Rakdos Temptress, I think. It's your picture.
That's still my profile picture. And I'm probably never going to change it because I don't think anyone else will feel drawn to draw another picture of me.
So that's something that you can enjoy on Craig's Twitter. But yeah, I think that we're mostly good to start off where we finished. So the party just wrested some pirate garb from some rowdy crew that they bumped into in the docks in Bricktown. However, this crew had been hired by the mysterious man who they're going to go and meet in disguise shortly. They did, however, also see a mysterious female mage with this group of pirates who appeared to be giving them directions and was about to obliterate the party before Ollie stepped in with a counterspell and the mage disappeared into the night. But the party is fine, and we're going to rejoin things as you're all carrying your bundle of pirate fashion away from the fight with Ollie back towards the unnamed tavern that you originally landed at.
So, Ollie, you have a place we can change into these clothes, do you? Or a room, at least?
Oh yeah, mate. I've sorted out a couple of lovely digs for you at the place we're staying.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Teddy's place is all right. Don't give it a name though. You know, helps keep the old Bill away.
Who's Bill?
Oh, it's just Bricktown slang for the rozzers, you know, the filth, the fuzz, the pigs, the bacon.
I don't know what any of that means.
The guard,
We going
mate.
to
The
get
guard,
something to
mate.
eat?
No.
Oh, God. Oh.
Yes. We don't want them in there. Well, we pay them off so they don't go in anyway, but you know what I'm saying. You'll be safe in there.
Okay, now I do.
Right,
He
yeah.
likes to take things very literally.
I'm starting to get that impression.
Mm.
Now, we can head back in, I imagine. And you all arrive back outside this very strange, sort of dinky little tavern that you originally met Ollie in. And you go in and you realize now that the clientele have emptied out, all rather surreptitiously. And just Teddy remains behind the bar, just leaning against it. And he gives Ollie a nod as you come in, but I assume you're all just gonna head to the back. There appears to be a door to the side of the bar. No upstairs in here, it's a very small establishment, but Ollie kind of gestures towards the back room and goes, yeah, you can change it there. There's some rooms out the back.
Okay, yeah, I'll just grab some clothes and get pirated up, I guess.
Clean it up.
I will
Alright.
make sure that Oz wears the tricorn.
Oh, you better believe it, Derek.
I don't think Oz has ever taken that tricorn off.
I'm going to put it at a jaunty angle as well.
So after a few minutes of rummaging around, you guys managed to outfit yourselves in some pirate garb. You're all looking suitably scurvy, I think we could say, to say the least.
I do have a quick question about that. So
Yes.
that means like we're not wearing our armor anymore.
Well, it's up to you. Would you like to keep your armor on and just remove your sentinel cloaks, or?
I don't think I could wear pirate garb on top of my armor. Like it's like a plate mail.
Yeah, you could try. Might
Yeah,
look
no,
like a
I'm
weird
not
pirate.
gonna do that.
Okay, so we'll say for the sake of now that you are all unarmored, you're wearing civilian clothes essentially when it comes to armor. But are you, any of you, keeping your cloaks on? Are you choosing to display your sentinel brooches, or?
No, I think we would probably hide those.
I don't
Maybe
see-
I would just hide them under our clothes. Is that what we should do?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I'll have
definitely
it
don't
on
wanna-
me, but not like visible.
All right, so you kind of stow them away in some pirate, pockets sewn inside your shirts and stuff. But you all have your brooches on you should you need them. And you emerge back into the tavern, and Ollie just claps his hands over and goes, "Huh, well, look at you. Aren't you just the most nefarious crew in Bricktown? That'll do nicely."
Yar!
Wow, yeah, that was tremendous method acting, mate. I respect that.
Oz,
sure.
please don't do that again.
I'm sure
Okay.
this will go well.
You'll be fine. Trust me, there's way worse lots in that tavern. Trust me, anybody with a stripy shirt thinks they're a pirate these days. So, I ain't gonna go with you. I'm pretty known around here. I think it's probably not a good idea, but the tavern, really, you can't miss it. It's just on the main street, just one away from the dock around the corner. I assume our gentleman of interest is in there still. He should be fairly obvious. Fellow was sitting in the corner, real gaudy jewelry on, dark robe. Should be able to see him.
He was the large fellow you mentioned, wasn't he?
Yeah, he seems real broad, sitting in the corner of that bar. Looked like a big
Okay.
fella. Didn't get too much of a good look at his face, though.
All right.
Okay.
Well, the
Let's do it.
evening's young, so I recommend get down there, really. See what you can dig up.
Let's have some fun.
Hopefully this will go a little bit better than earlier.
Yeah, if anything kicks off, run in this direction. And shout Ollie, I reckon. No, I'll be skulking outside somewhere. If it kicks off, I'll come and help you.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Good to know.
reasonable.
Alright, well, good luck to you, I guess.
My way. Make our
as
way
we're
out.
as we're on the way, I would just turn to the group and say, "So, do we have a plan this time? One that we'll stick to, and we won't interrupt each other."
You're under
I'm-
arrest!
I'm not going to say anything, so that because I feel responsible for the last several
Now, Adrastus,
deaths.
did you get your pants though? Like, we really need to make sure that
They
you're
are
wearing
quite
pants.
baggy, actually.
That's true.
How exactly? But I mean, on that note, how exactly are we going to do this? Are we just going to like play it by the ear? Do we have some sort of plan?
Well, we just say we're a crew looking to hire out.
Yeah,
He's
well,
hiring
we're
for
the
some
crew.
extra-
We're the crew that got hired, right? Yeah.
Well, no,
Derek-
see, yeah.
Derek sounds like he is from Bricktown, so
We should probably let him.
Oh, and his dad is not a criminal, so
Hey,
he would probably
hey,
be
hey.
best.
didn't
Calm
he readily
down.
admit that his dad was a criminal?
No.
No,
My
he's
dad
been,
is
he's
a-
been aloof about it, but we all know.
All right.
Okay,
At
so
this
so
point-
what are we going to say? What are you all going to say?
Well, really, all we got to do is, be a bunch of sellswords. That's what we're looking to do, right? We're looking to gain information, figure out why, what his mission is.
All right, Derek, you'll do the talking. Sounds great.
Just don't overthink it, Derek. You'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, let's head over.
This went
Derek's
so
like
well
pulling
last
at his
time.
collar. He's like,
Alright, so you guys making your way round the corner to the main street.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys head out, and you head a little bit further into Bricktown now. You're not directly on the waterfront anymore. You just head one street in, and the road immediately is actually cobbled and with what we'd recognize as almost modern pavements on it. A couple of bizarre-looking mechanical carriages seem to pass you by, sputtering smoke with a loud noise, and other than that, it's just a few people and a few horses making their way. It's probably getting fairly late at night, although it seems like the docksides never really sleep from what you can tell of all of the jubilation, we'll say, breaking out into the streets. But you make your way through this haze and the smoke of this smoggy street, and eventually you reach probably about a couple hundred meters down the road the sign of the Galloping Beauty, which shows a black stallion rearing, crudely painted onto a wooden sign, and you can already hear raucous laughter, chat, and even the occasional smash and crash of bottles from coming from inside. And as you're kind of standing there, taking in the sights, a couple of drunken sailors stumble out the door, singing an old shanty, arm in arm, and seem to stumble off into the night. But this appears to be a very lively establishment, even at this time.
Now remember, everyone, look tough, and we'll fit right in.
Caroline, can
Sam?
you do a tough face? That's pretty tough. Cool.
That
That's
was
fine.
more blue steel than tough. I don't know.
ooh.
I'll
All right,
try
let's
my
head in
best.
there.
Oh. All right, let's go.
I'll head in. Yeah.
All right, you guys make your way in, and yeah, as soon as you get inside, it's exactly what you pictured from the outside. It's rowdy groups sitting at tables, yelling over each other, and a couple of bawdy songs going along with. Some people seem to be playing some sort of strange game that, Derek, you'd recognize as darts against the wall of one of the bars, and yeah, it's just a rowdy bar inside, but you scout around and make me a perception roll.
I rolled a 14.
All right, I'd say you managed to see back, so there's sort of like this alcove that goes to the side where if there's a few tables and a few stools down there, and you see sitting right at the back of this, it appears to be the guy that you're looking for. He's in a dark robe, and you see even from here, he has a large amulet gilded with a large blue gem set in it, and he appears to just be quietly surveying the bar from behind, and you notice that even though this place is packed almost shoulder to shoulder in certain places, there appears to be a wide berth around him of almost like 2 pairs of tables where nobody's sitting down, as he sits alone at the back of the bar.
Look over there. It looks like our VIP is in the back.
Well spotted, Derek. Well, showtime, I guess.
All right. I'll grab a drink. Try to go to the bar.
You going up to the bar?
I'm trying.
Should we all go like up to him at the same time?
Well, I think he'd probably want to see the crew, right? I think we should do it as a group.
I feel like normally it would be the captain who takes the order and then
our leader.
refers to the crew. So if Derek goes up with a drink and we find a table,
Like we'll be like nearby, and he'll be like, "That's my crew."
Yes,
have to
you'll say
agree.
exactly like that. Yes.
I'd have to agree with Adrastus.
I've totally
and
done
Oz.
this before.
Even the other pirates we took from happened to have the same story. It was just the captain that talked to him, so might be a good idea.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll find a spot to sit if there is one.
Are
It's
you
pretty jam-packed in here.
are you going up to the bar first?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so
Yeah.
you guys sort of shoulder your way and step around people until you finally reach the bar, and you see that actually the barman here appears to be quite openly armed with 2 short swords sitting on his hips, and he appears to be a dark-scaled lizard man, actually you're surprised to see, Oz, who's just doing the classic fantasy bartender thing of rubbing the glass. And he eyes you with his beady eyes as you approach him, not saying a word, but a small gap parts for one of you to approach the bar.
I will approach.
All right.
Hey, barkeep, can I get 2 ales,
Yes. 2 ales?
please? That's all I need.
Okay.
Thank you.
He kind of glances at you a little bit and goes, 6 silver.
I'll give him 7 silver.
Oh,
Jesus.
thank you, sir. And at this point, he pours 2
got
mugs,
ripped
and you see he kind of turns around to the back, and you see him pulling pints out of the keg behind him, and he does make sure that they're nicely topped off and brushes off the foam, tops them off for you, and plonks them out and goes, yes, 7, and holds out his hand towards you.
Like he wants me to pay him? Is that
Yeah.
what
What else would it be?
Well, no, I thought I
And
already
he-
gave
and
him the
he
money. I
gently
apologize.
strokes
Yeah,
your
no,
face.
I'll give him the 7 silver.
Okay, as soon as you
high
put it in his
five.
hand, he snatches him and goes, yes, enjoy your drinks, and just scuttles off around a corner.
Thank. Oh, okay. I'll turn around and start walking kind of towards the large unit of a man.
All right.
Can we spot a table nearby?
Yeah, there's the only tables that you can see that are available for sitting at are the sort of 2 width of tables that seem to be the buffer zone between this man and the crowd in the bar. So if you would like to sit one of those, you are welcome.
Maybe we should just lean against the bar.
Good idea. All right, we'll kind of just like hang around the bar, but inconspicuously.
Yeah, I'll lean against the bar, and like take out a knife and start cleaning my fingernails like a tough guy.
God.
Make me a sleight of
I'm
hand
just
check,
like-
Oz.
Do you want me to do that? Okay.
Cut his hands off.
Oh my
jeez.
god,
A 15.
Okay. It hurts, but you persevere for the sake of looking tough.
no! Oz, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm blending in.
I thought he was buying that drink for me.
Oh god.
Okay.
He's going to buy it for the other guy.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Don't you know any chivalry?
Yeah, so I'll head towards the guy and I'll kind of beckon with my drink, like, would you like one? Kind of beckoning, handing it almost to him as
And
I'm
at this
approaching.
point, you see the hood is very far drawn over his head. You can barely make out almost like the crest of his chin. But you see the hood flick up slightly, and you see a wry smile curl. What appears to be an old dragonborn's lips. You see his bright blue scales appear just in the light. You see a
Why
wry
didn't Oz
smile
go?
curl.
Fuck.
And he looks up at you and just goes, I don't drink ale. Sit, if you must. And he beckons
you.
to the seat opposite him.
I will sit opposite him.
As soon as you sit down and pull the chair, and he just goes, name. Name.
The name's Derek.
Derek what?
Derek Mathis.
Very well. He seems to make a hasty note in his ledger in front of him. And at this point, you can see on his hands, he's wearing several very, very embellished rings, and again, that large amulet with what appears to be a deep blue gem set in the middle of it. He appears to be impeccably dressed. His ship.
I'm sorry, Chip.
Ship. The name of your ship, Captain.
Oh, I'll take the deed out and say it's the Dragon's Claw.
Lizard's claw.
Right.
Let's
The deed
doesn't know
here
that, it's
appears
fine.
to say Lizard's Claw.
Ah, yeah. Sorry, we just bought it
Are you a drinker, Captain?
heavily.
Yes, well, to be expected. Crew compliment.
Got 3 crew sitting over there.
You have 3 crew.
No, we got a lizard folk.
I
Man
care
on a-
little for where your crew are from. You only have 3 crew?
Yeah, that's all we need.
That seems doubtful. And what work is it that you're interested in, Captain? What brings you to my table?
Looking to make some extra cash. Anything really. We're a little short on cash at the moment, so.
Any connections to anybody in office, Captain?
I don't know
believe that
anybody.
if you are in the guard, you must declare it.
I ain't in the god.
Very well. Let me meet the member of your meager crew. Bring them over.
No problem.
At this point, he's still just making furious notes in his ledger.
I'll look over. I assume they're looking.
I assume they're watching.
In a nonchalant, cool guy way.
I'll beckon you over.
Okay, I come over.
Yeah, I'll go with.
Yep.
This here's my crew.
Names?
Adrastus Telemann.
Very well. And you? Gestures at you, Coraline.
Coraline Blackburn.
Very well. And the lizard folk?
Ozavax Croxel.
Very good. Experience at sea?
Moderate.
Define moderate, please. Who is
We've
the he-
taken a few prizes.
Who is the
Ship-
helmsman among you?
That'd be me.
And who is the first mate?
That would be myself.
And you, Coraline, what role do you serve?
I'm the hired muscle.
Hired muscle for a ship. I'll put deckhand. Very well. So, I'm sure that you've heard about the work that is available.
Nah, honestly, we came hearing there was work, but never really any details.
Good, it appears that some people are capable of keeping their mouths shut. All you need to know is that the group I represent don't take kindly to loose lips. You'll be required to do as we command, and you'll be compensated generously. Is that understood?
Yeah, how generous are we talking?
Well, we have a flat rate of 150 gold for a month's commission. Of course, it is fit to be split as your captain deems, although for such a small crew, I imagine that is far above the rate you are used to gaining.
Absolutely. I'm intrigued.
Very well. Tell me, what work did you hear that we had going?
Like I said, honestly, we heard there was work. We heard there was a guy in the back of the bar might be able to give us some extra work to do.
I see. He sort of bounces his eyes around each member of the crew. And he looks up now, and you can see his full face, and he is indeed quite a aged dragonborn. You can see his scales almost have like a wearing effect at the edge of them. He appears to be very old, and he looks up at you and goes, "You don't seem like the ordinary piratical type. What brings you to this line of work?"
We're all outcasts, to say the least.
Outcasts of what?
Homes, family, organization. Brought together under common circumstance.
Adrastus Telemon, you said. Most curious. So, I think that all is in order. I see no reason why we can't commission you. I think that what we'll require you to do is sail to Daloth. Do you know what Daloth is?
Can't say I've heard of it.
It's the capital
Would I know
of...
where that is?
You would. It's the capital of Calatwis, the Elven nation.
Can I say that? Oh, yeah. I've heard of it before. It's the capital of Calatwis.
Have any of you sailed there before?
Never that far, no.
Nope.
Yes, well... You shall sail there in the coming days. Although the voyage shall be long, you may wish to secure supplies. When you are there, you shall seek out a man by the name of Gregor. I believe he will be a part of the dock authority. He will meet you there.
And is he going to give us further instruction, or is it just going to be that vague?
I'm afraid that we aren't exactly into precise instruction, are we? Now, I'll just I'll just note up a contract for you, even. Signing you to our service. And at this point, he actually appears to pull a note off of a pile that he appears to have prepared. And he signs the bottom of it, and he hands it to you, Derek. And it simply just states that you've been contracted to sail to Calatwis under the orders of C.D. Because I imagine you may have many questions. This is your opportunity.
How do we get paid?
Gregor will see to payment when you complete the journey.
And I'm assuming he'll tell us like what we do next afterwards, or do we come back to you once it's done?
He'll instruct you further.
Sounds good.
Can we all see the offer, the contract?
Yeah, Derek's holding it if he shows around to you.
Yeah.
What does CD stand for?
That's simply the name of those I represent. Like I say, not a relevant factor to your journey.
Can I look at the note? Is it the same handwriting as any of the notes we've seen before?
It is. Make me a perception roll.
18.
Okay, I'd say that you're okay with an 18. It is the same handwriting as the original note you found, but not the one you found off the pirates you just ambushed.
Okay, so the first one.
Yeah, so the first one of the people who attacked you on the ship.
Okay.
How do we let Gregor know that we're following your orders? Do you have a name we could give him?
Oh, don't worry about that. We're in touch.
I think we just show him the letter, don't we?
Gregor will know who you are. And with this, a vaguely malicious grin spreads across his face. He'll be prepared for you.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Mortis. Mortis Skyscale.
Have you hired out a lot of crews, Mortis? Mr. Skyscale, sorry.
Why? Yes, I have, Mr. Croxall. I've hired out a great deal. As he kind of glances up at you, Adrastus, with a sly look in his eye, and goes, even amongst the pirates. He glances down at you, Derek. He goes, most are smart enough to use aliases. May I advise such a measure in the future?
Good to know.
Is there a way to identify ourselves as comrades at the high seas, such as a flag, so we don't get pirated ourselves?
Well, I imagine if you should be pirated, you should be able to defend yourselves, no? Besides,
well, I
you
would
are
rather
not.
avoid a conflict, but if we certainly can.
You are not a merchant vessel, are you?
No,
In fact, what style of ship is your vessel?
it's a sloop.
A sloop, you say? Tell me, does it hold cannon, Ozavax?
Yeah, 2 on each side.
2 on each side. Awfully expensive armament for a sloop, isn't it?
Well, that's why we can be so successful with such a small number.
Tell me, what pound are the cannon? Just for my notes, I'm sure you understand.
Well, one of them's an 18. Well, we've got 2 18-pounders, 1 on each side, and 2 9-pounders. But they're swivel guns.
You know an awful lot about cannon for a man from Kragor.
Well, I left there when I was young and took to the high seas quite early.
Yes, of course, of course. Only natural, I suppose. Very well. Arrangements will be made. Where is your ship docked?
Just down here, down on the docks, just outside, a couple streets down.
Very well. I shall have some of my men loaded with supplies for your journey. You may wish to procure more practical supplies while they do so, or perhaps hire more than 3 crew, and the wry smile returns. Although that is of course up to you, as I'm sure your sailing expertise are thorough.
Are we done here?
I believe we are, Mr. Mathers. Oh, and Mr. Mathers,
Yes, sir.
keep our dealings private from your father, please.
That won't be a problem.
Very well. After this, he goes back to writing in his ledger.
I don't like how Connors actually looks like he's writing in a ledger. I don't like it. Shit. Yeah, I'll stand up and then put my hand out, shake his hand.
He shakes your hand, and as his hand is almost cold to the touch, but you realize it's actually just the sheer bands of jewelry on his hand, almost giving him a cold metallic touch, and he gives you a stern handshake and withdraws his hand.
How expensive do the bands of jewelry look on his...
Ooh, make me a... What proficiencies do you have, Ozavax?
Make me a money check.
Well, do like tool
Make me a
proficiency.
gold pieces check. Yeah,
I
what
normally, I've got herbalism.
Okay, in that case, just make me an intelligence check.
Okay.
If you had, like, you know, if you're a craftsman of some sort, I would have given you
Okay.
advantage.
I got an 11.
Hard to tell. You're not really an expert appraiser of jewelry, but they certainly look expensive. And from the hem of his robe and the general demeanor he gives out, you would assume that they're real. The prize piece is almost certainly the large amulet around his neck, though, which seems to have a deep blue stone, almost the size of your palm, set into it.
All right.
Yeah, I'll turn away and start walking.
All right.
I will follow.
So you guys head back into the main bar area of the Galloping Beauty, or are you leaving altogether?
I think we should leave. Go back to the other bar. I need a drink.
I drink. I do finish my ale though.
All right, so you neck your pint, and you all rush back to Teddy's establishment, where Ollie is kicking out back in one of the booths, just smoking a pipe and leaning against the wall, and he goes, "Ah, my nefarious crew. How'd it go for you?"
Derek used the real name.
We all,
You did
we all used our real names. They have lists of targets.
Hang about. Ozavax, tell me you didn't give him your... Surely you, mate.
Well, the others gave their real names as well. I didn't see the harm in it. I thought it might look suspicious if I don't.
At this point, his head slowly sinks to his hand and he raises it back up and puts his pipe in his mouth and takes the longest drag you've ever seen. Before breathing out, he just goes, "We're so fucked." Oh, God. How did he react?
He definitely knew. He definitely knew who I was and who my family is.
I think you'll have that problem a lot here, son.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, God. Well, you made it out alive. I mean, that's a good start.
Well, that was kind of my thought is I could almost guarantee you he already knew who I was.
Problem is, though, is he still gave us all this crap to do, so is he trying to just, like...
But is Gregor who he uses to kill people instead of actually do the jobs?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he just leading us into some sort of trap, or is he
Yeah.
actually trying to, like...
Yeah.
do us a solid? I don't know who this guy is.
I don't think he's in the mood to do us a solid.
Well, at the very least, we do have a job. So, I mean,
Well,
that's something.
did you get his name?
Job.
Yeah. His name was Mortis Skyscale.
Now, this Ollie's eyes kind of widen a little bit. He goes, "Mortis Skyscale. That's a likely story."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know who he is?
Oh, yeah, I know all too well, mate. He's one of the original lot who kicked off all that calamity in the Sunderlands. He's a rogue Astrian, said to have nicked something incredibly valuable. I don't know if that was actually him or not. If it was, well, I'm even more impressed you walked out alive.
So what is he doing giving contracts in the middle of a bar, then, if he's, like,
Well-
some sort of high-class criminal?
Well, there might be a chance that he just gave you that name, assuming that you don't know who it is. You know, false trail and all that, but if that was actually our pal Mortis, the Sentinels have hunted him for about 100 years. Man, I can't go in there and get him myself. He's way above my pay grade. What did he say to you? Anything of interest? What did he ask you to do?
Show him the note.
Yeah, I'll show him the contract. Then.
Oh, you hand him the contract, and it's a very basic contract. Just a chartered journey, essentially, to Calatwis.
Oh, can I also add, Ollie, as well? That handwriting on that contract is the same one as the first contract we received.
At this point, Ollie
Like,
rummages in his satchel and pulls out the original note that you handed him. He goes, "Oh, right as rain it is. Well done. Well, that's interesting. If he's the one who wrote the first one, that means there's more than one person operating out that bar. Because our mates down at the ship, they had another one. Huh. Tell me, what does this fellow look like? Mortis is a dragonborn, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a very old-looking dragonborn.
With blue scales.
And to this, Ollie's eyes widen kind of funny. He goes, "Shit. That sounds like our mate Mortis." Fuck.
Well, I think we left an impression of some sorts on him.
Well,
I don't
he-
think he'll be forgetting us.
Yeah, but the issue is now he knows we're looking for him.
The real issue is why'd he let you walk out that bar alive?
Well, he might not know we're Sentinels. He might just know who Derek is.
He knows who he knows who Adrastus was as well.
Oz,
Wow.
he knew I was. They have. Remember the lists are targeted individuals. They have targets. We are targets.
My name isn't memorable though. He won't remember me.
You're one of like the few lizard folk who ever make it out of Krogor. You are pretty memorable in yourself.
Hey, we saw another one in the Galloping Beauty.
And he was equally as memorable.
Was he? I forgot him already.
Oh man. I mean, okay, so he let us out of the bar like you said. So there obviously has to be some sort of goal for him to do that.
But look, maybe we can leverage this to our advantage, right? This guy obviously thinks we're a bunch of idiots. Well,
Yes, we are.
let's act like we don't know that he knows, and then, well, we know, and we know that he knows. I don't know. We'll find a way to leverage the situation.
Oz, I'm really confused.
Ollie, do you know anything about any of the authorities in Daloth?
Daloth?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long time since I was stationed out there. I mean, I've done bits and pieces over the last few years, but only a couple weekends in Daloth, typically to meet a contact, but it's very, closed off there. The elves, they live for a long time, you know, so the rulers there, some of them been in power for a few hundred years, some of them even longer, I think. It's,
That's where he wants us to go.
well, who are you gonna meet? Gregor.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about this Gregor?
Absolutely nothing.
He works for the Dock Authority.
Well, that would make sense. If you're running any sort of enterprise out the docks, helps have an inside man. Well, that's something, assuming Gregor is real, of course. But, well, what else did this Mortis tell you? Anything of interest?
That even enterprising pirates use an alias.
Yep. I think
Yep.
me and him agree on that one, yeah. Well, you're new to the job.
That's a learning opportunity for
I
me.
mean, thing is, though, he probably
Yeah.
could have found out about us anyway, regardless.
Yeah, something tells me that he might have known who you were the second you sat down by the sounds of it.
Hmm.
Well, I don't really see that we have many other options of playing into their little trap.
So you're suggesting actually going and seeing where this leads?
Why not? They try to kill you.
We have no other leads.
You can kill them back. I mean, look, if that was Mortis, and I don't know if it was, he could have just nommed a girl, you know, something like that, but if that was him, he's let you live. Now, does he just not want to cause a commotion in the middle of Bricktown? Maybe. But you must have something that he wants.
I was gonna say, like, there's gotta be a reason he's putting us through this without just outright killing us if that's what he wanted to do. Even though I remember on the ship, they don't want us dead. They just want us captured.
Maybe
They
they're could they be delivering any of these the captured people to Daloth, and therefore
It's an interesting thought. I mean, you know, if you want to recruit people, I'd argue some of the most promising fighters in the nations. Probably good people to start with. Question is, how are they convincing them to work round to it? And what the hell are they doing? Is another question.
Well, we gotta find out, I guess.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I don't think we got many options here.
Mm-mm.
We can either go through with the trip, go to Daloth, find this Gregor chap, or we can stay here, sniff around, but if people like that are here, I think that's probably going to get us killed. I think you should probably go along with what he says for now.
Yeah, learn a little bit more intel, you know, figure out what this is all about. He said Gregor would know, right? He didn't want to give any specifics. So.
Well, I mean, that's pretty standard when it comes to shady organizations. I've took down a few. Typically, they really try to keep recruits guessing what's going till the last second, then they're in too far to back out. My guess, if I had to guess one, old Mortis probably wants to win you round to something. And it's in Daloth where he's going to do it.
Well, there's only one way to find out now, isn't there?
Now, I ain't much of a sailor, and you lot certainly aren't, no offense. I reckon you're going to need to find yourselves a crew.
How would we go about doing so?
Well, there's the Merchants Forum in town, a lot more of the more, reputable crews. We'll be happy to help you out of there. You go find a captain there also.
Sounds like a plan.
What about supplies for our ship? We'll need to plan for the journey. Also, Ollie, do you remember what guns the ship had?
Oh, I think you had 6, I think, 3 aside.
Oh, okay.
They look like just 8-pounders or something, nothing too heavy.
you would have been proud of Oz in there, Ollie. I will tell you that.
I think I did a better job than any of you.
What did you tell them? You had a 80-gun Sentinel gunship? What
No,
was it?
I said we had a sloop with 2 guns.
A sloop with 2 guns.
If I remember, you said 2 guns aside.
What did you
Yeah,
say
two-
the
two
guns
guns.
were?
An 18-pounder and a
18.
9-pounder.
I've never seen guns mismatched like that, but alright. Well, I don't think he cares. If I had to guess, he knew that you were stringing him along the whole time, because let's be honest, sounds like he didn't really do that good a job at it. He just didn't care. And that's interesting to me. You've got someone he wants, or he wants you. So,
Alright.
sounds like
Let's
we're all
figure out
going
which
to
is
Dalos.
which.
I'll be accompanying you, of course. I'm not going to let you sail half the world on your own. I'd love to, but I'd probably get in trouble. So, I reckon you go down to the Merchants Forum in the morning, get yourself a crew, stock up. You're going to want provisions, of course. And we'll set sail for Daloth. Did he say anything else?
He was gonna stock our ship for us, wasn't he?
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, wait, he did say he was sending people, didn't he?
Yep.
He
To do
wasn't
what?
sending for like personal provisions, but yeah, he said he was gonna.
Right, well,
Stock the ship.
trust me, it's a lot cheaper in Bricktown than Daloth, so in the morning, go out, grab yourself whatever you want, shiny new sword, healing potions, that sort of thing. I could recommend a good shop actually in the shade. I know the owner. Yeah, then we'll find a crew. Set sail to Daloth, I reckon. Bear in mind, I ain't going to be able to take much of a lead on this, being as the fact that most of the people in this city who are on the more nefarious side of the law kind of want to kill me. So I'm going to have to be a little bit old Ollie Incognito over here. You know,
Fair enough.
nice bandana,
Ollie.
bit of a face mask, something like that.
I think we could learn
it.
a thing or two from you about that.
Yeah, sounds like you could.
A little bit of subtlety might help. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm off for a kip. See you in the morning. And with this, he just kicks his feet up and heads out to the back into one of the small rooms.
Well,
That was eventful.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of blanked on the name. He asked my name, and part of me thought, listen, this guy knows who I am. This is kind of the problem with living in Bricktown and my dad being who he is. A lot of people already know.
I don't think you thought that at all, Derek. I think you panicked and just gave him your real name anyway.
Listen, Oz, there's two sides to every story. Both might be right.
No, what? What does that mean?
oh my god, I can't do this. I'm going to bed.
Before we all leave, can I? I'm terribly. I don't want to make this a big thing, but I did get implanted with a gem less than 24 hours ago.
And let's be
That
honest, it is pretty big.
That is still there. It is still there. I don't want to leave. They said Mortis said that it wasn't an immediate thing. We have to leave. He said, in the next couple of days. Can I at least please try and find someone who may know what is going on? The Lady of the Sea is, this is a port town. There must be someone who has an idea of something. There must be temples are built to lesser things than an actual mythical deity. There must be somewhere.
I think it'd be cruel if we said no. So, yeah, we can have a look.
Yeah, let's
And
be
then
honest.
if-
What
if-
kind of squad would we be?
And then if we don't find anything here in Bricktown, which, no offense, Derek, it's not the most refined place. Maybe the Elfie place will have someone who knows a bit more about gems in chests. I don't know. Do elves have gems in chests?
The Elfie place.
I think
No,
everyone has
no.
has gems in chests.
No, they
Well,
don't.
I don't mean like a treasure chest. I mean gems in your physical chest.
No, they don't have gems in their physical chests. Oz.
Okay.
Right. Well, would anyone like a nail? Because I'm going to have a nightcap before we start what will no doubt be a stressful day tomorrow. So, anyone?
I'm
Yeah.
good.
I'm gonna call it in early. I'm just gonna get off to bed.
Okay.
I'll have just a drink.
All right, so you're going to go order from Teddy.
Yeah. Teddy, can I have the 2 ales, please?
Teddy kind of lumbers over. He goes, "Oh, of course, sorry. Totally phased out there." He just kind of turns around, blinking with 2 bugs, and fills them up and hands me. He goes, "No charge. Ollie never bloody pays me anyway."
Teddy, are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Just been stationed in this place for too bloody long.
So, stationed?
Oh, yeah. I'm one of you lot. I run this place as a safe haven for, base of operations and all that.
Oh.
It's the Order of the Phoenix.
I'm actually Sirius Black, yeah.
A fat Sirius Black.
Oh, you should have seen me in my day. I'd have run rings around Ollie. Now I'm a bit, sort of slaps his stomach, he goes, a bit retired, you could say, but yeah. Now I just do this, pull pints, get paid. It's all right.
Okay. Was everyone in here a sentinel?
Oh, yeah. We were worried about them coming to kill you as soon as you arrived, so Ollie filled the place with them.
Oh, that's very kind of him.
Yeah, he's all right. Bit of a prick on the outside, but he's all right.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Teddy. I'll take the drinks and go back to Oz.
All right. So yeah, you guys are just sitting at a table with a nice hoppy ale, room temperature, good old British beer.
Nice.
I mean, Bricktown beer. Not that there's any influence on Bricktown, but
What? No.
Oz, what do I do?
Well, I think you put the tank into your lips and then tilt it upwards. Come on, that was pretty good. That was pretty weak.
Oz, I will give you credit. That was very good. You know what I mean, though. What do I do about this?
I don't bloody know. You just gotta either learn to live with it or, I don't know, find someone who can take it out. Perhaps when we're crossing the ocean, that big sea monster will appear again and she'll do something and either take it out or add a few more. Perhaps you could get an assembly of different gems. Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't want more, Oz. I don't know how the first one bloody is still in there and I'm not dead.
It's a good question. Well, I don't know the answer to, so there's no point fretting over it. Either you die in your sleep tonight, or you'll wake up tomorrow and we'll see what we can sort out then.
Okay. To not dying in my sleep tonight, then I'll just kind of clink his glass. Cool. And then head to bed.
Yeah, I guess we'll just head to bed.
So you all find your rooms in the back of this rickety old tavern, and you can see that's kind of disheveled, I guess is the fair word, but they've been done up nicely by Teddy. He's done his best to kind of make them comfortable and clean for you, and the sheets are a bit moth-bitten and everything's a little bit dusty, but you all get a good night's sleep. However, Adrastus, while you're sleeping in your room, your dreams are racked by just images of things you don't comprehend. Like, you just see...
just let me get my notepad, hold on.
I don't comprehend this.
You see 600 Oz's dancing in unison. It's you just see monumental shapes and the deep itself. It's almost like you're leagues under the sea. The pressure feels intense, and as you awake in the morning, you're just washed over with an overwhelming sense of just sadness and loss, which quickly fades as your morning stupor does, but all in all, a fitful night's rest for you, Adrastus.
Great. Morning, everyone.
Morning! Any more gems, Adrastus? You still alive? Still with us?
Oh, barely. Ugh.
Is Ollie with us?
Ollie doesn't appear to be in the corridor as you're making your way out.
Hey, Caroline, Derek.
Yeah, what up?
Teddy's a sentinel.
What?
Oh,
Yeah. Everyone in here, when we came in, they were all sentinels.
so we even had some backup if something went south.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So apparently there's more here than we thought.
I wonder why they didn't tell us that.
Presumably so we didn't stand there going,
At this point, Ollie emerges from his bedroom and goes, "Didn't want to spook you, that's all. Anyway, breakfast."
Steve, you listened to...
That's my job. I quite literally listen to everything, yes.
Good
And
lord.
also, old Teddy, mate, right hook like a wildebeest. Unbelievable.
He said he could take you, Ollie.
In his heyday, he probably could have. The man's a lunatic. He used to paint himself and fight bare knuckle. I've seen him punch through plate mail. Unbelievable.
But he's so nice.
Oh yeah. You know, heart of a giant, hands of one as well. Why do you think I chose him to run this establishment?
In case trouble goes down, I guess.
Precisely.
Wait, you chose him?
Well, yeah. They really didn't tell you much about me, did they?
Wait, so do you run this place, Ollie?
I run all the operations in the Southern Island, my man. Everything from Astria to Longold goes through me.
Huh.
Imagine you're a busy man.
You know, Harto always... I bet he's the one who gave you all your briefings, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was busy fiddling with a glowing green orb, so I think he was a bit distracted.
Did Qatar give him it?
Yes.
He thought so, yeah.
You see, the thing is, Harto's a bit like a Labrador. Very loyal. Lovely guy. But you give him anything shiny, and he is immediately perplexed. It is hilarious.
So this mission is going to be pretty important if it's running through you then, directly.
Well, alright, you got me on that one. Yeah, you could say that. There's certain things that might be at play which are a little bit concerning.
This
I
feels
will say-
more intense than the missions that most new recruits would get sent on.
Yeah, well, look, the fact of the matter is, if I'd got to pick, or anybody really had got to pick, who'd be doing this, well, it would probably be me and Qatar or me and Harto. But they're busy. And the problem is that you lot are the only ones who actually, well, know anything about the piracy that had been going on. You were the ones who got attacked. And you're the ones who managed to actually get a bit of information out of the pirate that you captured before, well, Red Braid did what she does best. That means that, essentially me, our two martial friends, and you lot, are the only ones who have an inkling of what's going on here. And Qatar saw it fit to keep this amongst ourselves, as factors might be at play here. Now, they're probably not, but better safe than sorry, eh? But I gotta say, when you start bringing up names like Mortis Skyscale, that makes me a little bit worried. Nothing to be worried about, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you just said your word and it's nothing to be worried about? Okay.
I work my best when I'm worried, don't worry.
Great.
If Mortis is
Let me do the worrying, and then you don't have to worry, alright?
Sorry, Ollie, you said Mortis was above your pay grade, but you are on the same level as Harta. Is anyone in the Sentinels able to take on this Dragonborn?
How much do you know about myself and Harto and Qatar? What do they tell you about me?
I mean, Harto basically kind of just insults everybody, makes himself look great, and
Yep.
but you know, besides that, we don't really know much about you guys.
Make a persuasion roll, Caroline.
Oh gosh. 18.
Alright. He kind of raises his eyebrows and goes, well, seeing as you're in this already, don't know what harm a little bit of context can do. Mortis is a old name to us. He's been around a lot longer than any of us. He's outlived all of us, but like I said last night, Sentinel's been after him a while, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mortis has a habit of brainwashing people he gets put in contact with. And you know, squads at the academy tend to be 4 people.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you know, 20 years ago we were hunting down Mortis. There were signs of him in Okrajan. We thought he was going to make another little foray into the Sunderlands. Turns out he was trying to corrupt a whole clan there, make himself his own little fortress. So we go in all guns blazing, happy times, you know. Not gonna lie, we're pretty much the most decorated squad in the Academy's history at this point. We go in there, you know how Harto is. And our 4th member, Elaine, she went ahead. She was our we'll say, more diplomatic approach. Kind of like to play Mortis at some of his own games sometimes, if you get what I'm saying. However, he was no match for her, but he knew this. He managed to corrupt her somehow, win her round, until eventually there was almost none of a lane left. I don't know what he said to her to make her change, but somebody I'd known for 15 years all of a sudden was plotting against us. We eventually made it in there. Mortis is nowhere to be seen. But we were forced to fight a lane, and that's something I don't think any of us have ever forgotten. I think it was Harto who, put an end to it. And, I think that's his greatest shame, personally. So, I ain't mentioned to him that Mortis has cropped up yet. Because if I did, we would get a Sentinel gunship, and we'd get Harto in the dock, blowing everything here to Kingdom Come.
I was gonna say, yeah, he'd probably take the charge himself.
He would, yeah. And, that man's got all the sensibility and subtlety of a sledgehammer, so, he doesn't need to know right now. But that's why, sensitive issue, I guess you could say.
Don't mention Mortis in front of Harto.
No, maybe leave that to me.
Yep.
Or if you have to, you can.
Yep.
Guitar, on the other hand, as a couple of you will know, way more level-headed. She'd be of use, but Harto, I think he'd, step in. We don't want that.
Fair.
Well, now that you know that, hopefully the urgency of our situation has pressed upon you a little bit more. If Mortis is recruiting crews, and seemingly trying to steal recruits to the academy, well, I think I know what he's putting them to. He's trying to build himself another army. So I say we play along. And, we deal with him when it comes to it.
Fair enough. Shall we get to hiring the crew then?
I think that's probably wise, yeah.
Yeah.
When did you tell him we'd leave?
He kind of just said in a few days.
Alright.
There wasn't really a deadline established.
Well, if his man's at the Port Authority, I'm gonna guess he's there long term, so...
Yeah.
Looks like we're free to leave whenever, so... Derek, if you've got any matters you'd like to clean up in Bricktown, feel free. Or if any of you have anything to do, just let me know.
Can you... I appreciate that when our first introductions I was slightly hysterical.
Slightly?
I apologize for that.
You did flash him.
I flashed a lot of people
You
that
did
day,
take your
Caroline.
top off, yeah.
It's
kind of funnier now you think about it and realize that all of those people were your fellow Sentinels.
It is.
I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, look, this business is all about building a reputation for yourself. And...
Great. That's going. Okay. Do you? Obviously, when I originally asked you about kind of temples or magic peoples and things like that, but in all seriousness, do you know of any like ocean-based temples or anything like that who may mention the Lady of the Sea in their texts or anything?
Mate, I mean, you've seen Bricktown. It ain't exactly the most environmentally conscious place, is it?
No.
So, the biggest temple here, and the one I think has the central library in, is the Temple of Helm. It's one of the major deities here. He has a lot of worshippers, actually. So, if you're looking for clerical advice, I guess I could say, I would advise that you look at the Temple of Helm. I mean,
Okay.
Caroline will get you straight in the door. And he sort of nods towards your holy symbol dangling from your neck, Caroline.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that seems like a good place to start then.
Yeah. I think, other than that, I mean, I don't know. I'm not exactly the most godly man.
No, understandable.
Yeah. Well.
Stay in Bricktown long enough, it kind of just happens.
Ah, yeah, I know, mate. But people need something to hope in. So, if you want to go to the temple, well, you can't really miss it. It's on a big hill in the town. It's about the only white that you can see through the bloody smog here.
Okay.
Imagine Derek also probably knows where it is.
Oh yeah, Derek certainly would. It's a major landmark in the city.
All right, so we can do that, and then we can go to the Merchant's Guild to get our craft in.
Yes, we should do that first, the temple, because if Adrastus has hours to live, I don't think he want to spend his final hours on this earth trying to hire a crew for a pirate ship. I think he'd want to do. We can go to a club or something like that if you want.
Oh, thanks, Oz.
Yeah, how's the old chest jewelry?
Well, look down. I'm assuming it doesn't look any different.
Make a perspective.
Perspective.
Perception.
Really tell me how you feel about
That is a 13.
There's something different about it, but you can't quite tell.
Oz,
I love middling rolls because they're the most like troll rolls in the world.
Oz, come here.
Yes.
Come.
Wait, what's the head? Are you all right?
I need to show you my chest again.
Oh, bloody hell.
All right, so I kind of like go to the side and.
Now, Oz, it was you who inspected it the first time, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay,
yes.
so make me a perspective roll with advantage.
Okay. Okay, so that's a 21.
The ever so slight, almost like flickering ember you could see in it prior is nowhere to be seen. It is extinguished.
You're dying.
Absolutely dying.
Well, Adrastus, you know there's a light flickering inside it.
Yes.
Well, it's gone. I don't know. Is that good?
It's gone.
Yeah.
Can I like feel my pulse? Do I have a pulse?
You have a pulse, yes.
Well, I'm still here. Let's. Can we walk quickly to the temple? Because that whole I might have hours to live thing may be a bit more prudent.
Well, I suppose I can put a spring in my step just for you.
Connor, can I how do I say this lightly? Can I find a shortcut?
Yeah, I mean, well, you would know that you could, of course, just hail a carriage to take you there, a motor carriage, or you could make your way up the hill yourself. From the docks, it's like a 10 or 15 minute walk. You walk through part of the shade, and then you just head up one of the main city's hills. So it's really not too troublesome.
Awesome. Yeah, it's about 10-15 minutes walk. Let's start walking.
All right, so you guys heading out?
Is
That's
anyone
cool.
hungry before we leave? I'd hate to start the day and if anyone's like actually starving, but for me, I'm fine. I have a crippling sense of dread filling my tummy. So
At this point, Ollie looks up and goes, "Oh, if you're getting food, swing by the shade. Actually, I need you to pick something up from that shop I mentioned the other day. Shopkeeper owns me a crate of oils.
What? Oils?
Yeah,
Like cooking oils?
Nah, they're the type of oils that you rub on your daggers, and then when you stab people, they hurt more.
Oh.
Yeah, we call them oils.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Oils it is.
yeah. The shop you're looking for is called Business Combat Tricks. He'll sell anything you need for personal provisions. You can go to one of the apothecaries or the herbalists if you want to buy specific potions, but honestly, anything you'll really use, Biz has got it. He'll give you a good price as well. Say you're from me. Last time I was in there, I think I smashed up a few things, so...
Say you're from me.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Shall we head off so we can hopefully save Adrastus from certain demise?
Yes.
Thank you.
Alright, are you all heading out?
Yes.
Okay, so you head out of the unspecified tavern and walk along the main road, past the Galloping Beauty, which is far quieter, and you can see a barmaid kind of shuffling along, just sweeping up some broken glass outside from last night's ruckus, and eventually you get out of the dock area and you start making your way into the area that is known as the Shade. Now, John, you would know the Shade as basically a series of market-like streets covered with tarpaulins and all forms of dealers in there. There's anything that you want in there, from illegal stimulants to a good pasty. There's all sorts of stuff to be found in the Shade, and it's kind of known, I would say, off the hand, off the cusp of general knowledge. It's known as a place that the guard doesn't really enforce too many laws. As long as they get their cut, they're happy in the shade, but you eventually start making your way towards that area, and you have to head through the main road of the shade to reach the hill that the temple is on. And I actually have an illustration of the shade for you. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Just everyone keep your eyes peeled a little. This is a little more chaotic part of town.
Yeah, even though the sun is high in the sky, shadows are cast everywhere, which you quickly deduce is how this particular street and area got its name from the large tarpaulins above, which are painted with the name of many a shop and advert, and signs of wooden stores hang off the walls, and dingy doors and dusky alleyways beckon you.
I shall keep my hand on my purse as we move through.
Good idea.
Yeah, Coraline, you might want to hold on to our per diem a little more tightly.
I'll put it like in the front of myself so I can keep an eye on it.
So, Coraline, how much gold do you have on you from the per diem?
Didn't you give us like 150 or something?
It was 150, I believe, in the bag, yes.
Yes. So I still have it.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Just making a note. Cool. All right, so you guys start heading through the shade.
You can take what you have from me.
What would be a fair amount for me
One
to
potion,
take?
149 gold. Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, so you guys start heading up this main street of the shade, and people are still kind of setting up their stalls, but there's a little bit of morning activity. You see a lot of like grilled foods of all sorts, and people steaming corns by the roadside, and there appears to be quite...
so good.
It is good. There seems to be like a bustling kind of food market with everything from the stench of grilled mackerels to the sweet smell of the corn cloying your nose. But as you head past, you do eventually see, coming up on your right-hand side, a sign that is half off the wall that just has a white skull painted on it, and some language that actually, Craig, you would recognize as lizard folk underneath it. That just says Biz's Combat Tricks.
That's the shop we need for the oils. But I guess we should come back there after the temple. In fact, maybe that should be our last protocol after we've hired the crew. Just, so we
take a loop on our way back.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you guys head
definitely makes
past,
sense.
and
Keep that in mind where it is.
eventually the light kind of returns to the street, and you go into an open plaza where you can see a sort of like a stairwell leading up a hill towards this gleaming white temple at the top of it that resembles almost like an ancient Greek temple, which is vastly at odds with the rest of the Bricktown appearance around it. But in some ways, the smog almost seems to clear around this temple, and it makes it quite a striking landmark. You're surprised it wasn't visible from the shade. It would be if not for all the tarpaulins.
Nice place.
Quite impressive.
Yep.
So what do we do? Do we just go in and say he's got a gem in his chest? Some big sea monster gave it to him. How do we get rid of it?
I'd rather not.
No.
Alright, well, let's practice being subtle. How do we subtly say he's got a bloody great big gem in his chest?
Well, they said they have They said they have a library.
So we just go read through the whole library. I mean,
Well, no, we go. There's a library attendant. We can go to the attendant and say if there's any books on specific topic, and then we find those books.
Yeah,
yes, the gem in chest section.
Or the Lady of the Sea section, Oz.
Okay.
Come on now. Have you never been in a library, Oz?
Not like this.
Okay.
Most of my writings have been carved into bark.
That's true. I suppose in Kruger it would be the tree, wouldn't it? What's the tree called again? I forget.
Crickgrass.
Well, hold on. I heard you call it, but I've got it in my notes as well. Crickgrass, yes. Crickgrass.
Crickgrass.
I mean, you never know. You could. You asked about. Did you ever find out about the history of Uskia and Albia? Back when we were on the island, Oz.
Well, would I have?
Not particularly, no.
No, not really.
Well, you could do a bit of light reading whilst I'm doing a bit of mortal soul-searching reading. Might help keep you.
Politics is boring. Gem and chess. Now that's interesting.
Okay. Okay.
Although I do recommend that I take the lead on this one, as these are.
Yes, please.
By the time this train wreck of a conversation is nearing its end, You've reached the top of the stone steps that have widened out into be the great entrance of this temple, and white marble pillars ascend into the sky 30 feet before they meet the roof, and you just see into the foyer, and it seems to be all white marble inlaid with gold in there from what you can see.
There's a lot of money in Helm, apparently.
There's a lot of money in religion in general. So if I look around, can I see, like, kind of where the library would be?
Are you, like, taking a step in? Are you, like, going... Okay, sure. So, yeah, you guys enter into the foyer of this temple, and immediately you're met by this large semicircle room where there's 2 staircases going up each side of the semicircle, but inlaid into the center of this room appear to be 4 huge statues carved again in marble. And make me a history check. Anybody make me a history check.
Can I make a religion check?
Yeah, you can make a religion check.
I was gonna say, it's technically my religion.
I rolled a nat 20.
Hey.
Boom. Damn.
Yeah, that'll work, because...
All right. Adrastus, you are very sure that the figure second from the right represents Marshal Harto.
What are the other... Do we recognize the other 4?
Yeah, you would, Lauren. It's the one on the left is a very, very famous paladin known as Claudine. You're not sure about the other 2.
Derek, that statue it's Harto.
Yeah, that looks like Hardo to me.
How famous is he?
Adrastus, I'm not gonna lie, I've never been in this church.
Okay. I mean, Coraline, do your teachings just talk about Harto?
Would they?
No, not really.
I mean, I don't know where Harto's exactly from. Do we know where he's from? Has he ever mentioned it?
Nope.
No. I was gonna say, unless he's from here, and that would make sense as to why they would maybe erect it here, but he's not famous from where I'm from.
He probably is one of the most famous living paladins, though. Maybe they just, you know, when he dies, they'll wheel out the next most famous. Maybe that could be you up there one day, Coraline.
In
You're
Bricktown?
very-
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, good point. Maybe not.
But...
All right, so
Right.
where are you? So there, it appears to be obvious that the library is on the upper level. By the way, I should say,
Wait,
up one of these grand staircases.
on the statue, is there any writing on it, like a plaque? or
Yeah, there
anything?
appear to be bronze plaques inlaid to the bottom of all 4.
Ooh, can I go read them?
Yeah, sure. So the first one reads, "In memory of Claudine, long may she reign." That's all it says. The second one actually appears to be erased out. You can see that somebody has almost like scoured the text from its surface. The third one is Harto. It says, "Honoring the Grand Marshal Harto for his efforts in the Sundered Lands." And the fourth one says, "Long live Lazar, slain by Mortis."
Okay.
He gets about, don't he?
I would guess so. Huh. Interesting. I mean, that doesn't tell. Maybe we can ask Ollie about that later. He might know.
I should say, in the foyer of this temple, there are several people who appear to be in cloisterly dress, as well as many civilians milling around. Some of the civilians you see sort of laying wreaths and just small tributes, candles, and a few coins at the feet of some of the statues, including Harto's.
Interesting.
Well, it's no surprise why his ego's so big then, eh?
I'm
What
just
do you
curious.
think, Gus?
It's just weird because, like, 3 of these people, or at least 2 of them, I don't know who the second one was, but the 2 of these people are dead. Why is Harto up there?
I mean, it says for his efforts in the Sundered Lands.
Right, but I mean, typically you wreck something for somebody once they die.
Maybe he did that good a job in the Sundered Lands.
All right. Anyway, I'm assuming we can find is somebody just kind of milling around like a worker or something. Like
Yeah, there appears to be. Well, they're quite like priestly. They're dressed almost like
Yeah.
monks in these red and white flowing robes. And yeah, there appears to be several shuffling around. There's quite a young-looking assistant, sort of just sweeping the floor near you if you'd like to hail him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I like wave her down?
Yeah, he
Excuse
just shuffles up to you, and he's just holding the broom, and he comes up to you. You see, he's just cleanly shaven head as he lifts his hood back. And he goes, "Oh, hello, visitors to the temple, sentinels, I see. Oh, how marvelous."
Could you maybe direct us on the location of where the library is?
Of course, it's just the Grand Library is simply up the staircase. The entire upper floor encompasses the library.
Excellent. Thank you.
Tell me, may I ask, do you know the Marshal Harto?
We're the best of friends.
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic. I'm such an admirer of his. His statue was erected here 3 years ago, and it's been quite popular with the locals.
Is Marshall? Do you know if Marshal Harto is from here?
Oh, Harto, I believe the stories say he was born at sea. That's why I think he's so popular. No nation hates him, I suppose.
What exactly do the stories say he did?
Well, all I've heard is he brought great light to the Sundered Lands when they needed them. I'm not too sure of the details, really. All I know is that many songs are sung about him here in Bricktown, but I couldn't really tell you the details. I've always just assumed he's done many a great deed. I mean, he certainly has been a marshal for quite a few years now.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for your help.
Oh, more than happy. If you need me, do just come and find me. I'll be on the lower floor. My name is Brother Homer, and I can help you with it.
Thank you. Yeah. So I guess we'll go up the stairs. Up the stairs to the library.
Yeah, sure. You go up these great oaken stairs that are just winding all the way back up to the top of this temple, and once you reach the top through these gilded doors is this enormous library, and you just get that smell of like old book as soon as you go in there. And there's several what appears to be like study and reading sections laid out, and you can see all manner of scribes. There's even a small group of Astrians that you spot off to one side studying some of the scripts here. There's several glass display cases as well, all with tomes in them. You assume them to be very rare or perhaps old, valuable copies of things, but it should say that the library here runs for easily 150 meters, and it's like 5 bookshelves wide. This is a expansive library.
Can I find like a library aid or like?
Yeah, sure. There's a very old man with a cane shuffling alongst one of the front shelves that you can see. Just it appears to be incredibly slowly just replacing one book at a time. And as you walk up behind you, you just hear, there, all in their right place.
Excuse me, sir.
Hello, young lady.
I was hoping you could help us find maybe some books.
Well, you're in an excellent place for finding books.
Okay. We're looking for books about a specific topic. Do you have any books about the Lady of the Sea?
Oh, the lady. One of my favorite tales as a child. I suppose there may be some in fairy tales, or perhaps some fictional writing. Anything in particular?
Anything about that topic would be great.
Well, I imagine that maybe in some of the books for a younger audience, but many modern tales romanticize the idea of the lady. Follow me. And he sort of very slowly shuffles away along one of the central aisles until eventually he pauses at a bookshelf, probably like 9 or 10 in, and he just turns down all of a sudden. His fingers, actually remarkably to the rest of him comparatively, his fingers are very swift and deft, rifling through the books, and actually he pulls out a book that is no bigger than it's like a novella, essentially. This is perhaps a 50 or 60 page book. He goes, here, The Lady of the Sea by R. Hart. This will be the classic tale, I believe. And he hands it to you.
Alright.
I must say, we don't get many young paladins and their entourage coming in asking for children's tales. Please regale me. What is it you find so fascinating about the lady?
Connor, out of interest, would Adrastus know the story of the Lady of the Sea?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. I would say it's that most of you, Ozovax, you probably wouldn't, but Derek and Coraline, you'd be familiar, even if you hadn't read it, you'd be familiar with the story, which is essentially just about an old fisherman who gets lost at sea, and all of his crew die of starvation and thirst until eventually the lady finds him and carries him on her tide back to shore.
Okay.
But he's the only one to survive. And the moral of the book is that he doesn't have the answer as to why he was the one who survived.
Essentially, long story short is we kind of ran into the lady on the water, perhaps.
Oh, my dear girl. You are stricken with the seasickness. I've seen too many sailors lose their minds. Ugh.
We were just hoping to learn a little more about it, that's all.
Well, I believe some of the younger scribes give more time to old tales.
I think he's like just scratching his chest, just like.
Yeah, we just wanted a little more information to make sure, you know.
Roll deception.
Oh, the poor old guy.
He's getting suspicious.
12.
He kind of furrows his brow and goes, yes, well, I'm afraid we don't have any more scholarly writings other than the traditional tale. We've had the odd piece submitted, but the Academy holds a high regard when it comes to allowing scholarly works in the library. Our Academy, of course, not yours, but some of the younger scribes, I believe Homer gives good time to tall tales and nonsense such as this. You may amuse yourselves with him if you desire.
It'll have to do, I suppose.
I'm sorry I can't give you the answers you need. You are sure that you've seen it. You seem like lucid people.
That's why we kind of want to read up on it, to make sure that's, you know, maybe what we saw, unless we saw something else.
Well, if you have seen it, you are truly blessed, more than I could comprehend.
Excellent. Well, thank you. We'll give this a quick read. We'll.
Do you wish to borrow the book?
No, we just wanted to take a quick look. I'll put it right back once we're done.
Very well. Well, if you need anything else, please just find me.
Sounds good, thank you.
He sort of slowly starts shuffling in the opposite direction. You can see him even from behind, like, shaking his head slightly.
I mean, I give him the book.
You're just giving him back the book?
Well, no, I'm giving it to Adrastus.
Oh, right.
I already know the story, Coraline. I don't need to read the book.
But maybe there's something else in it. How do you know? You haven't looked at the book.
I'm from the Enclave. We know all these stories.
Yeah, honestly, I even know this story.
Let's go talk to Homer. He has been the most useful person here so far.
Well, I thought that old guy was quite helpful.
He was lovely, but he accused Coraline of having seasickness, so, you know.
To be fair, our story does sound quite crazy, because people don't normally see the lady, right?
Yeah. I'm trying not to be a crazy person, so yeah, can we go talk to Homer, please?
Sure, if that's what you want to do. I'm just, this is all I got, but anyway, I can put it back.
Yeah, put it back. We don't. Well, can I take it and flick through it?
Sure.
And just do I see anything?
Adrastus, it's very similar to many copies that you've seen in the Enclave libraries. It is simply the traditional tale of the Lady of the Sea.
Yeah, I don't glean any hidden meaning from it or anything like that.
No, you don't.
Nah.
You don't see anything unusual about this book in any way.
There's no gem. There's no picture. It's not a picture book, is it?
No.
There's no gems in the fisherman's chest.
No.
There's no chapter. What to do if
there's not a picture of you in the book. No.
Okay, that's fine.
Gem and chest for dummies. Like.
Let's open up a WikiHow here.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we can go talk to him. I mean,
I have an idea that we might be able to get some information without sounding like complete idiots. So let me do the talking to. Was it Brother Homer? Was his name?
It was Brother
Yes.
Homer. Yes.
Okay. So I guess we'll
you make your way back down the staircase, and he's still just shuffling around, sweeping some of the alcoves between the statues up. He turns around and goes, "Oh, pleasure to see you again. Welcome back."
Oh, thank you, Brother Homer. I was wondering if you could help me with a little bit of a personal problem.
Of course.
We were upstairs talking to the elderly attendant in the library, and we're
Cardinal
looking
Midas. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a esteemed senior.
Yes. Anyway, well, I'm not from around here, as you can probably guess, and these lot love they're going on about their children's tales and whatnot, you know, the Lady of the Sea, and we're looking for some more.
His eyes kind of light up a little bit, and he starts smiling.
Well, we're trying to compare the tales we know, and there's one in particular that I remember vague talk of from my childhood about a person who encountered the lady and ended up with a gem in their chest. Does that ring any bells with you?
Oh, really? I've never heard such a thing.
Bastard!
I consider myself a scholar on the traditional tales, but the lady is one that particularly fascinates me. Please, you must recount me with the
I
tale.
don't remember much about it. I don't know. I was just a whisper from. I can't remember. That's what I was hoping to ask you about. For you.
Oz, tell him the story.
Well, there was a bloody idiot on a ship. He went out in the dead of night, saw this great big monster.
I think it was the early morning, Oz.
The early morning, saw this great big monster rising out of the deep, tried to talk to her, and then ends up with a bloody great gem in his chest. And then he wakes up his friends early in the morning, screaming his bloody head off, waking everyone up. But I heard he died a very early death. Tragic. Maybe you can add that one to the annals, Brother Homer.
Roll deception.
What?
You are lying, kind of.
14.
He kind of raises an eyebrow to you, but still with this grin on his face, he goes, "If I may be so bold, this sounds rather like a personal story of yours. You seem to have quite strong opinions on several of the characters involved."
Well, it reportedly happened to one of my great uncles.
Oh, marvelous. Pray tell, how long ago was this?
Well, it was when I was quite young, so I don't know. I mean,
how old are you?
1 second.
How old is us?
Well, I'm 16.
So it must have been, 10 years ago?
No, a bit longer than that. I think maybe 30 or 40 years ago.
Oh, so you weren't born yet?
No, I said it happened to one of my great uncles.
But you said it happened when you were quite young.
Well, I was told the tale when I was quite young.
Oh, my apologies.
Sorry, I might be confusing you.
30 or 40
I
years
speak
ago.
quite quickly when I'm flustered.
Oh, that's quite all right. That's so fascinating. The lady is a peculiar tale to me because for one of such legend and such mythical status, I cannot find any records of her that extend beyond 150 years ago. So your tale falling in this time period just enhances all of my theories. Thank you so much.
Well, it's quite all right. Just because it's kind of well, not a hobby, but well, you know, we like to have our own interests, that sort of thing. If I want to learn more about the lady, where would you suggest? Say you could go anywhere in the world to learn about the lady. Where would you go?
Truly, I think the library here. Look, it's not the most scholarly pursuit. I get told off for pursuing fairy tales by so many of my co-workers, but I mean, I dare say I am somewhat the foremost expert on the lady, if such a thing may exist.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Adrastus. Well, what I was going to say is there any tales of her picking a chosen champion or not a paladin exactly, but someone who carries forth her word and her name, that sort of thing?
Well, I am somewhat known to the sailors of Bricktown because many of them have come to tell me, and I've interviewed many about their supposed experiences with the lady. I'm sure many of them are just simply spinning tall tales, but I must say that many have said that they were saved at sea from villains or ruffians or pirates. I have never seen such things myself, but I imagine that she does appear to, I don't know, to choose who she protects. It's fascinating. Was your great uncle of any repute?
No! Bloody idiot!
Oh. Wow. When did and you say that he got a gem in his chest?
Yes.
What did this look like?
It was big and what I can't remember what color. Was it blue? Was it
No,
blue?
no,
It was like pale pale grey or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like a cloudy white.
diamond.
Yeah, it's like a cloudy diamond, yeah.
It was like a cloudy diamond in his chest.
That is intriguing. That is not something I'd thought of myself. This adds a whole new element to my research. I must ask the other sailors if they've seen anything like this.
Well, just one more question, Brother Hammer, because the thing is that the tale has sort of a sad ending in that my great uncle, we believe he went off to try and have this gem dealt with in his chest. Say, and I'm trying to track him down. Say that you had a gem in your chest. Where would you go with such a thing?
Well, you are in a place with some of the greatest healers in the world. I would rely upon my friends and companions here. I mean,
so this would be the best place to come in the world if you had a great big gem in your chest.
I mean, I must be honest with you, my friend, and say that I am a cleric of Helm in a temple of Helm. I'm perhaps a little bit biased, but I would certainly come here. Perhaps some of the Astrians or the healers of Calatwis would argue with me, and I'm sure the dwarves would try to mine it out and sell it, but I would come here myself.
Well, I take it a lizard folk hasn't come in the last 30 years asking about a gem in his chest.
Well, a lot of lizard folk have come in, but none of them with gems in their chest, no.
Okay. Well, I guess poor Uncle Blackclaws, he's gone. Well,
Uncle Blackclaws, you say? I'm going to check the records for that name, thank you. And he's furiously making notes on this parchment that he's pulled out.
Okay, thanks.
Wonderful. This is so much. Thank you. I haven't heard a tale like this in so long. I must return to my research immediately. Why am I sweeping? And he just pushes the broom away. He's like, do you need anything else?
If we were to try and contact you later on to, if we encounter the lady or anything like that, or if we hear of any encounters, assuming we can't find you doing your activities, where would be the best place to find you?
Oh, any of the brothers here would know where I am.
Okay.
Anything else before I go? Are you okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. Adrastus, anything? Anything you want to say?
I don't think his breakfast went down well, right?
I've got a bit of indigestion. I'm sorry. I'll speak. If I need to find you, I will later.
Okay, later today?
Potentially, yes.
Okay. Well, I shall be in the cloister all day.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, I hope the indigestion sorts itself out. Been eating too much food from the shade, I see. Yes.
Yeah, the corn doesn't agree with me.
Yes, I always like to think of their food as rapidly digesting, let's put it. So, anyway, back to my studies. Thank you so much. I didn't even get your name, and he gestures at you, Oz.
Oz.
Oz, thank you so much. This is so much. This is so much to go, and he sort of like starts shuffling away, like talking to himself and glancing down at his parchment.
Well, Adrastus, it's you have to ask. I guess they're the ones to ask for about the gem in your chest. So either
Coraline, Derek, do I tell Homer? He seems like a very enthusiastic person.
I think you'll end up with a life of being poked and prodded, but well, I don't know.
I mean, he's the only person who's not outright decried anyone involved with the lady as being insane.
Well, I think that's because
but the
he
thing is, I don't think he's the healer himself. That's the only problem, right? He's just there.
Yeah, but he may be able to connect us with a healer.
Yeah, but remember the old guy like dismissed him as like kind of nutty.
Yeah, but the old man. But from what Homer was saying, the old man is kind of seen as a bit senile.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the other people here might think, like, everybody might have the idea that he's too crazy about his.
I mean, I agree, but if I flash a healer my chest gem, then maybe.
That's the best euphemism in the world.
I mean, you could give it a try, but
Honestly, Adrastus, I don't even really believe the story. The only reason I know is because there's a giant glowing gem in your chest.
Homer, I'm just saying, if Homer barely knows anything about this, like, chances are they don't know anything about this, which means they probably won't know what to do about it either. Like, they might be healers, but it doesn't mean they can pull a gem out of your chest.
I know, but at least they can tell me if it's going to kill me or not. You know, in terms of matters of the spirit, or matters of not necessarily the faith, but the spirit, you know, they are probably some of the best people, and well, if anything's going to involve my spirit, it's going to be connected to a bloody great big mythical sea monster.
I wouldn't say it's a bad idea. I'm just
Yeah.
saying you got to approach the topic gingerly.
Right. I think Did Homer say he was going to the cloisters, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's just. You saw him kind of like shuffle off into a side room, kind of like hurriedly
Okay.
in his robe.
Okay. I'm going to go speak to Homer.
Wow! Ah!
Please, yeah, just make sure. I can't say this without. Make sure no one comes in and interrupts. And I'll just kind of walk away.
Are you walking towards the room that he went off into?
Yeah.
Okay. So you reach the door, and it's this large wooden door, like studded with iron, and it's closed at the moment. So
I'll rap like 3 times on it.
sure. After a few seconds, there's an unlocking noise, and the door opens, and you can see inside now that it's a small office, absolutely laden with parchment and books. And Brother Homer answers the door, and he goes, "Oh, hello. You were just with Oz, weren't you? You were his friend."
Yes. The name is Adrastus.
Adrastus, wonderful to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Homer. Would I be able to speak to you in private?
Oh, of course, please come in. This is well, I think office is a kindness, but this is my designated area. Please.
Okay.
And he sits you down at this large desk, and he just sweeps some papers off of it. And you can see that there's a couple of melted down candles and a tankard on it, but he obviously devotes a huge amount of his time to his scribe work. This place is covered in ink and parchment.
Okay. So the story that Oz told.
Yes, that was a tale most confusing.
Yes.
Oh,
He-
don't you wait.
He may have lied to you.
Oh, I'm used to the sailors withholding certain sensitive details. No offense taken. Don't worry.
No, it wasn't his great uncle.
Oh.
It was me.
Oh. So you've seen
Yeah.
the lady.
I have spoken to the lady.
And what did she say?
She basically said that we can address her as the lady, and then when I asked her why she was here, she hit me with lightning.
Oh. Wow. Some of the sailors had mentioned storms appearing when she rescued them from attack, but wow. Wait, so you have a gem in your chest?
Yeah, I'll just don't read too much into this and just.
Wow, that's. And you can see him kind of like rock back in his chair slightly as he looks, and he goes, "Forgive me for my my nerve, but may I touch it?"
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my!
This is going better than I thought.
And he reaches out with very gingerly with his hand and places a couple of fingers on the cold stone in your chest. And as he does, you do see a flicker of light emanate from inside, and he goes, This is unheard. I don't know what to make of this." And you can see him sitting back and starting to frown slightly.
But before you said the ember had gone out, the flicker of light.
Yeah, Oz didn't see any flicker in there.
Okay, but when he touched it, there was a flicker.
Yeah, there was a slight flicker of light that you could see.
Okay. Homer, there was no flicker of light there this morning.
Perhaps it reacted in some way to my abilities. I am a healer. I wield a great deal of, restorative magic. Perhaps it reacted to that. Many stones are enchanted, so.
I don't know what this is. I've never read anything like this before. I don't know what I've never met a mythical deity before. Is there a way you can see? Is it going to kill me? Should I already be dead? Is my soul in danger? I don't know.
He kind of places one hand on your shoulder without even asking. He just clamps your shoulder in his hand, and you see some almost like veins of light run down his hand, and his eyes briefly defocus. You can see him staring into space, and a smile returns to his face. He goes, "Well, you're not dying. You seem to be in a perfect bill of health. I mean, you obviously have some curious abilities that have left their mark on your body, but no, you seem to be fine."
Okay, so no further with the gem. Interesting.
Well, it is most curious. You must tell me everything that happened with this encounter if I am to make headway of this.
I think. I'll just repeat the story.
Yeah, you just regale him with what happened on the ship, and do you tell him anything else?
I had an odd dream last night, where I basically it felt like I was at the bottom of the ocean. It felt like I was in the deep, and not just I'm swimming here. Like I was actually there.
Huh.
And then
It
when I
appears
woke
you would be
up,
linked to the lady.
and when I woke up, there was an overwhelming sense of sadness, and which quickly went away. But that, yeah,
Curious. I wonder what this could be. She has given this to you for some reason. I believe you entirely. I dare not disbelieve. I've studied for so long, convinced that this is something other than a fairy tale. Seems like finally somebody has a tale with purpose.
I didn't really want to believe it wasn't a fairy tale until solid evidence, shall we say?
Yes, Do you mind if I use some simple, well, I like to call it detection magic on you? I wouldn't do so without permission. Just about the gem, see if I can...
No, go for it, of course.
So with a few waves of his hands... I mean, you've been around casters quite a lot at the academy. You quickly realize that he's just quickly casting detect magic.
Yep.
And he kind of stares at the gem and he leans back in his chair and goes, that is most curious. An enchantment so dense and so impenetrable, I have no idea of its purpose. But it is made by magic that far outstrips anything that I have seen. I don't know what the purpose of this stone is, but you were given this for a reason. How many people know you possess this?
Outside of my colleagues out there, one other person.
And who is that?
Another member of the Sentinels.
I would
He
say...
can be trusted to absolute secrecy.
Very well, I would say guard this. I don't know what this is, but there is immense power within this.
Okay.
But, and he sort of relaxes back into his more cheerful demeanor. He goes, it's not killing you. And it appears that you have her favor.
Right. Well, I suppose I should get on with the mission that we have then.
What is your mission? You are... What are you doing?
Can't tell you.
A curious turn of events, but understandable. What are you here on a ship? Are you here by land?
We arrived by ship and we will be leaving by ship.
Well, seeing as this is the biggest lead I've ever had in what I'd consider to be my life's work, I would accompany you if that is quite alright. You don't need to tell me the details of your mission. I must merely be nearby to observe and perhaps provide assistance.
Give me 2 seconds.
Of course, please
just,
confer with your companions.
Okay. So I'll just kind of wander out.
Oz, what are you doing? Don't touch that!
But it was gonna fall off.
Can you just not cause a scene anywhere we go?
Coraline. How much time do you think he has, eh?
Good news.
Oh,
I'm not dying.
Oh,
Hey!
Why?
Unrelated news. How much do you all like Brother Homer?
He just seems a bit of a
Did you
peculiar
hurt
fellow.
He touched me in a bad pace, Coraline. No, he wants to join us. He doesn't know about our mission. He doesn't know about any of our any. He knows we're Sentinels. That's it. He has basically this, and I just like tap the gem. This is his life's work.
There's no way we can do that. Our mission is way too dangerous.
He is a healer.
Yeah, but how much can we? What do we really know about Brother Omer? And I'm pretty sure this is a pretty secret mission, and we can't just bring anyone with us. So, as nice as it would be to have him along for the ride, and I'm sure it'll put your mind at rest, Adrastus, I don't think he should accompany us.
Not to mention, he could easily just get killed. Like, okay, sure, he's a healer, but
I mean, I'm sure that
if fight things.
I am sure that if he died, he would be happy doing so, pursuing his life's ambition.
Don't know about that.
Now, I actually have to agree with Adrastus on this one. I actually think, Ollie asked us Mortis asked us to get a crew together, right?
Well,
Makes
that's a good
sense.
point, actually. Yeah.
He might be a good hand. At very least, he might be another body.
I don't feel right denying this man something that he has clearly worked throughout his life to at least pursue.
Yeah, and I guess we do have to hire a crew of some sort anyway. So, I mean, they're not going to be exactly sworn to secrecy, are they? So we just have to not divulge any great details.
I was going to say, really, they just have to not be told what we're doing.
He doesn't have to come with us when we meet, when we meet Gregor. But, I think the biggest thing is he wants to be on the boat when we're at sea, in case who decides to appear.
As long as he knows the risks, then...
Okay. Everyone okay with that?
Just remind him that this is probably going to be dangerous.
Can do. Right, so I'll turn around and knock on the door again.
Yeah, sure. It's still open. He's just sitting in there.
Ollie.
Ollie.
Not Ollie. Homer. Homer.
Here we go.
Are you... This mission may very well be deadly in nature.
Well, I am not a direct combatant, but I don't truly intend to particularly follow you into battle, if that's what you're requesting.
That's fine, but there will be inherent dangers, even potentially on the ship.
That is fine. I am quite talented in restorative magic. I can help clean up afterwards, as they say.
Have you ever been on a ship before, Ollie?
On the rivers here, yes.
Homer, Jesus, sorry.
Sorry, Scott. I'm used to being stupid. It's fine.
Wow.
On the rivers here, yes, but not out at sea, no.
Well, you better get some sea legs, because we're going to be going on a ship in the next few days.
Very well. I shall pack my belongings and transfer them to your ship. What vessel is it?
It's down by the docks. It's called the Lizard's Claw.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, your friend owns the ship.
Yes.
Very well.
And he named it after himself because he lacks a complete imagination.
Oh, I see. Well, truth be told, I will follow you so long as the lady has marked you. I hope I can be of assistance in that time. I will serve as your scribe, and anything else you need, I shall simply relocate myself to your ship and find some suitable quarters.
Fantastic. Right, well, we will see you there in, well...
Is there anybody else I should be aware of on the ship?
If you meet a rather gruff individual who may or may not threaten your life, then explain that I have sent you to the ship.
A gruff individual who might threaten my life?
Hang on 1 second. Do you have a piece of paper?
Yes. And he just reaches into his office again, just grabs a scrap of parchment and gives you that and a quill.
Okay. I write on the piece of paper. I go, "Ollie, you idiot, he's with us." Signed, Coraline.
Ollie, you idiot.
And then I give him the piece of paper. I say, if he gives you any trouble, just give him this piece of paper.
All right, he just takes that off you and he looks down and he goes, "Oh, camaraderie, superb. Very well. In that case, I shall make my way to the ship and see you there when you're ready. I shall simply rest there until we are prepared to leave."
Brilliant.
Okay, very well.
Thank you, Homer. We will see you shortly.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And he goes back into his office and you can hear him start arranging things.
Adrastus, how does it feel to have your first follower?
Oh, no. Coraline, how does it feel to have called one of the most esteemed members of the Sentinels a complete idiot?
I can live with that.
But
Fair enough.
you're not dying, Adrastus.
No, apparently I'm not.
Oh well. Maybe next time.
Why? Why did
I'm
you
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I gave you like 3 weeks. Yeah.
I don't
Alright,
think
we
it's
bet-
like gangrene, Derek.
I was gonna say we better be off because we still have to hit the
gotta
place
get
where
a
we
crew.
hire the sailors, and we gotta go to the shop to get all these oils.
You'd say it's about, glancing out the door of the temple, you'd say it's about midday now. It seems to be the height of the sun.
Yeah, so we might want to do that before dark.
Yeah, we want to go get some crew before they're all gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So-
you can always find a crew, Derek.
Derek,
So
you
do
would
you
know
know,
that the...
do you know where we gotta go, Derek?
Well, yeah, Derek, you would know that the Merchants Forum is actually just off the square that you just ascended to the temple from. So if you head back down there, there is a gate that leads to sort of like a large open courtyard in like dockhouse buildings, like warehouse buildings. And the center of that is one of the primary meeting places for equipping crew and ship with cannon, shot, etc. So that is where you would be headed to find reputable sailors. Or you can
Yes.
go to a tavern and recruit some pirates if you want. It's totally up to you.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, it's just down the road. We almost passed it on the way here.
Brilliant, let's go.
Let's head on that way.
How many crews should we hire?
How many do we need for a ship?
I don't know.
How many were on the lady's friend when we came out?
That was just Moira and 2 of her deckhands, but that was a small sloop. You have a significantly larger vessel on your hands.
How many people did we kill?
You killed 3 pirates? Oh, 3 in the captain, so that was 4.
So we probably need like 3 plus ourselves. 2 or 3 plus ourselves,
On the scale
What?
of
because
our
it is a pretty
ship-
big ship.
Yeah. I would say at least double the manpower.
Yeah.
Especially since none of us have any idea what we're doing.
Well, we definitely got to find a captain. Maybe he has a crew already selected.
Yeah, maybe they'll know how much we need.
How much
Well,
how much
I don't
much
think
money
we.
are we willing
I think
to borrow?
actually, now hold on. We don't look for a captain, you know, because if we get a captain, he'll tell us where to go.
But
We
Oz
will-
is the captain. Look at his fancy hat.
Well, of course.
But I
of
think
course.
the captain is just the guy who's in charge of all the other guys.
Well, I think what we want is a first mate then.
Yeah, whatever. That.
Looks like we're looking for a first mate then.
All
All
right.
right, well, let's go.
Let's head on down.
Okay, so you make your way down into the Merchants Forum, heading through this large, like, brick archway. Carriages are rumbling past you, and you have to press up against the side of the wall to make it in there. But eventually you make it in, and immediately you're greeted by the hustle and bustle of a very, very active traders square. The walls are lined with different provisions. There's everything from salt biscuits and, you know, hard-baked bread into cannons and crew. There seems to be a section for everything, but the crew market largely appears to be this sort of makeshift tavern set up in a sort of like tent that occupies almost a third of the entire square with its canopy covering. But inside of it you can see several distinct groups of crew that seem to hail from all corners of the world are gathered there, and some of them have slightly obviously standing out merchant or a businessman sitting negotiating with them, but there appears to be several crew free to talk to you. And
You know what would have been really smart had we asked Ollie what we needed and how much to pay for before we got here.
I think this is what they call a learning experience, Caroline.
Yeah, we seem to be having a lot of those.
Yep.
recently.
Well, we'll be pros after this, right?
Well, who wants to do the negotiating? Who's the handiest with money?
I mean, Coraline has all the money in her hands.
I'm
Don't say
holding-
that
I'm
out loud,
holding-
Derek. Not in the market. Someone will pinch it.
I'm
Well,
only holding it. I'm not the best at managing it.
I mean,
mean,
no,
Oz,
you
I
seem
was-
to have a way with words.
Yeah, I was impressed with the way you spoke to Homer.
Oh well, thank you very much. I do have a way with people. I think it's my ability to interact with the common folk.
Right. I think Oz actually would be the best bet because he might actually hardball them. You know, he might actually.
All right,
You know,
fine,
give
I'll
him a
do
run
it.
for
I'll
it.
do it. But if I goof and hire a bunch of thieving bastards who steal the ship from us, then you can't blame me. I don't smile, Adrastus. I know you're exactly the type of person who hold that against me for the rest of my bloody life.
Would I do that, Oz?
Yes.
You're totally right. I would.
All right, so
Most of
also
the-
you're
most
looking
of the
around for
people-
crews.
Yes.
Okay.
So that size
Look
of them
for
up.
some reputable crew.
So how many people are you looking for in a crew?
Well, I think what we would need would be. Well, I think what we would need would be first mate, helmsman, and then what? A couple of deck hands, people in our fire cannons.
Do you
Yeah.
need a designated poop deck swabber on a ship like
What
this?
does that even mean, Noah?
I don't know, but I know there's a poop deck on a ship, and I'm assuming ours has a poop deck. So, do we need someone dedicated to the task?
I think our ship is big,
That's
but
what
it's not.
deck hands are for.
Yeah, it's not one man to an area of a ship. I believe they all sort of pitch in. And a cook. We'll need a ship's cook because I don't know how to cook at sea. You know, it rocks
we
from
find-
side to side.
Oh, it's
Can
fine.
we
I'll,
find any like decent but not too large-sized crew?
Well,
hanging
this is
around?
why I asked how many you're looking for, because there's different crews depending on how many people you're looking for. Are you looking for 4 people, 3 or 4 people?
Yeah, let's say that.
Okay, 3 or 4. So you scan
Let's start with
around,
that.
and there appears to be 2 groups that match that description. There is a group of 3 elven females. They appear to be clad in very well-made leather armor, sitting around a table themselves. And you'd assume they're from Calatwist based on how they're dressed. Coraline and I imagine Adrastus, you would certainly recognize them in Calatwistian wear. And there is a group of 4 Okrajani crew, who appears to be 3 orcs and 1 human, sat around another table. And these guys look like... They don't look as well-equipped as the elven crew, but they seem to be definitely veteran sailors. You can see that several of them have very identifying tattoos on their arms, and they look rough and ready. These guys are definitely veteran sailors.
Well, which one do we? Does anyone have an
well,
opinion?
why don't we see how much each crew costs, and then we'll see what the situation is.
That's fair.
And remember, we can do payment terms, right? We got to make sure we don't just hand up all the money up front.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please don't do that. All right, Oz, you're up.
Okay. Wish me luck. And I'll stroll over to the table with them. I'll go for was it 3 Okrajanis?
No, so
or
there's 4 Okrajanis, and there's 3 elves in a separate crew.
I'll go for the Okrajanis first.
All right, so you sit down at the Okrajani table, and immediately one of the orcs waves a hand. You see he's got dark grey skin, and he's just absolutely bound with muscle. This guy's huge. And he just waves a hand at the others. And he looks up at you, and he's wearing very simple clothing. He's got like a rough canvas top on and very simple sailor's clothes, like practical clothes. And somebody goes, "Hey."
Greetings, my friend. My name is Ozovax Croxel. I'm the captain of the Lizard's Claw, a small sailing
Lizard's
vessel that we
Claw.
have stationed here at Bricktown. And I'm looking to hire a likely crew.
I ain't heard of that one. The Lizard's
No,
Claw.
Yeah, we've just put into port.
All right. What, tell me, Oz, you're seemingly a sentinel. What business are you here on?
Well, I'm afraid that's part of the conditions of if we were to hire you, our business is our own, I'm afraid. We just need a good bunch of workers who can basically do a job without asking too many questions and earn a bit of coin. I
I
warn you,
respect
it will
that.
be a bit dangerous. We don't know exactly what we're going up against, but I
Don't
just want to
worry.
fill you in with all the facts before you sign your life away.
We're all, Okrajani Navy veterans here. I respect the secrecy. I mean, hey, you're a sentinel crew, and that's good on the old CV, so
Yes.
we'd be more than happy to
Do they have
work with you.
Apparently.
That's what their tattoos are, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or CVs, yeah.
Yeah. So we're not looking for too many hands. Just we're not really seafaring folk ourselves, so we need people who can basically run the ship independently of us. We can tell them where we want to go, and they can kind of keep us right. We're looking for really just some honest folk who can help us see what we need to do.
All right. Well, my name's Dunn. These are my 3 boys. We've run everything from a sloop to even a small frigate on our own. What do you got?
Dan, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what you'd call it.
How many guns it got?
It's got Three
on each side.
3 9-pounders on each side.
Oh, so 6. All right. Well, sounds like you got yourself a decent-sized clipper or something. I'd have no problem with that. And he kind of looks at his crew for a second. They just nodded him.
So you'd all be able to quite happily crew it yourselves. I mean, we can pitch in and lend a hand if you kind of show us the ropes, if you'll pardon the pun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd have no problem with that. Are you expecting us to take part in any combats that may break out?
Well, yes, I'll be honest, yes. It would be kind of awkward if you just stood back whilst we were being boarded and...
Hey, I've been told to stay out of things before, but that suits me just fine. All right. That's fine. That'll add a little bit to the price, but we can all handle ourselves. Charity there's an excellent gunner as well. And the human who's got a sort of mop of scraggly ginger hair just looks up at you, and you notice now that he's much younger than the others. This kid probably isn't older than 14 or 15, but he looks up at you grinning with a few teeth missing. He goes, yeah, I've seen him load a cannon faster than any, so we'll do you fine.
So...
Here we go.
How the type of contract we'd be looking to hire on, we wouldn't have a definitive end date. We basically hire you on until we were, well, you know, you might have to find your own way back from certain ports, that sort of thing.
Right. Well, we're happy to sail the ship for you as long as you give your consent. You'd still own the thing, but... I mean, that's fine. We pay by the month. If you start a month, you pay for the month. That's how it works, so...
Well, I think that sounds quite fair.
I mean, the price of me and my crew is about 80 gold a month.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
All right.
Wait. I need to actually check what our fund situation is. Yeah.
All right. I mean, you're Sentinels, right?
Yes, but, well, we've got other expenses, that sort of thing. So I'll just be back in a moment.
Right, I will say, before you go, I will say I've done a couple of runs for Sentinels before, and typically I just got paid direct from the Academy. I didn't ask the specific people for payment, but maybe you got a different deal, I don't know.
You might be right. Let me check with my companions.
All right.
And I'll stand up and walk over to them. And as I get closer, I'll say, I forgot to negotiate. I'm just pretending that I'm asking you some questions. So
You forgot to negotiate.
yeah, he said a price, and I accepted the first one. But I didn't want to look like an idiot and back after I'd said yes. So just pretend like we're deep in conversation. You know, everyone nod their heads.
How much did you agree to?
80 gold a month, which for 4 people, for, you know, dangerous work, that's pretty good, I think. But he also said that the Academy would pay. Do the Academy pay? I don't know.
I mean,
We could fork the first month, and then after that, we could get the Academy to probably pay them afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay.
Because, we obviously won't be able to get the funds from the Academy in time this time.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think we'd have to pay we should pay a deposit, right? You know, just
no, I think we pay for the first month.
Then what if they? Well, because what if they abscond at the first port we put into before filling out the whole month? You know, give them a deposit now. You know, so they got something to spend when we put into ports. They can go to, you know, dockside taverns, that sort of thing, and then you give them the full pay at the end of the month. That's how jobs normally work. You don't get paid at the start of the month when you do a job.
To me, it makes sense. Say like 30% down payment, and say
like halfway or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we know we gotta go to Calatwist, right? Yes. So we gotta, maybe there's a little bit of down payment once we get there, and then maybe the end at the end of the month.
Okay.
We'll see if they're okay with that.
Okay. So I'll amble back over.
Are we gonna not bother with the other crew? Just go with that one? That's the other question.
Well, what do you guys think? I mean, I can ask them as well. It might look a bit shady if I just suddenly go over to another crew. That might piss them off a bit. And then if we do end up hiring them, they might, piss in our socks or something like that.
At the end of the day, the Elven look a little more combat ready. They're pretty regaled and pretty high class. Do we really need that strong a fighter?
Well, I don't know. The Oakridge Army seems like they've sailed quite a bit. I think they really know what they're doing. And I've kind of explained the situation that we don't really know what we're doing in terms of sailing the ship, and they're happy to sort of
I
do
mean,
that side of things.
I'm less worried about the combat. I'm more worried about the sailing part.
They seem like they know how to sail. As from what I was just saying, that makes sense.
All right, so we're going with the Okrajani then.
By the
Come on,
first
give it
card, as they
I
say.
feel like it'd be silly not to talk to them, but okay, it's majority rules, so.
All right, here I go. Back to negotiating. Watch this. And I'll walk back over, and I'll make a show of sitting down and go. Well, I'm.
Don
How
just
much-
looks completely unfazed, looking up at you. You swear you almost see a smile pass his lips.
Well, how much did you say there initially? 70 gold, was it?
80 gold.
Oh, I'm not sure if our funds can stretch that at the moment. How about 60 gold for the month's
80
work?
I think 80 gold. Listen, we're not gonna steal your ship. We're not gonna run away in a fight. We're honest men, and honest men command a decent price.
Do I believe that he is honest, Connor?
Make me an insight check.
Okay. 8.
It's hard to tell from. I mean, he's certainly portraying himself as like honest and straight-laced.
Okay. Very well. We'll hire you then. 80 gold for the month.
Very
Since
well.
you seem unconvinced to negotiate, and I'm not very good at it, and it's hot outside, and I'd like to get this done with.
All right. Well, that's as good as excuse as any. Typically,
I'll,
we ask for half up front, half when the month's over.
That sounds fair. Yes. So I'll extend a hand.
Very well. All right, fellas, we got work. Well, by the way, where's your ship docked?
It's near the Galloping Beauty.
Oh,
Down
the
the
dock's
dock.
down there. You buy that place that totally pretends to not be a Sentinel bar?
I don't know what you're talking about. And I'll give him a big exaggerated wink as I say.
All right. I've been around a while. I know the place. Is the name on the ship?
Yes, there might be a fella down there by the name of Ollie. He's sort of keeping watch on everyone that comes on the ship for us. So you might encounter him when you get there. But if you just want to find a space for yourselves on the ship, and should be heading off soon.
All
A few
right.
days.
Well, we'll see you down there. We'll pack up our stuff. We should be there and ready to go tomorrow.
Okay, and that's the rest of my companions over there, and I'll just point at them and give them a wave.
As Dunn and his crew, including the young Charlie, are passing by you, they kind of just wave a hand at you all and file past.
Well,
Looks like we
well,
got
right.
ourselves a crew.
Yeah.
Well done, us.
Thank you.
Well done at your complete lack of negotiating skills.
He didn't seem like the negotiating type, and I think I think he knew that I wasn't the negotiating type. And well, I think it's important to be honest with these people because I think that they respect honesty than me trying to pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
Fair enough.
That's fair. Shall we go get some provisions then?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we gotta stop at that store.
We might be
What's it
able to
called
get
again?
some good stuff. At
This
the,
is combat tricks.
Yeah, that place. All right, let's head there.
All right, so you guys make your way back to the shade, making your way through the square, and you walk down the shade about halfway until again you see this rickety wooden sign hanging off the wall with the white skull and the very unusual, illegible to all of you except Oz script of lizard folk underneath saying Biz's combat tricks. The door is so dusty and engrimed on the glass panes in it that you can't see in at all except a faint orange glow.
Well, let's head in.
All right, you going in?
Head in.
So as you go in, you enter this dark, dusty shop, and dust kicks up even from the shelves as the wind from outside rushes in, and you cough and splutter a little bit, but you look up and you see that ornate glaives and spears adorn the walls and all sorts of weaponry, but the shelves themselves are very rickety and tightly packed together, leading to a counter at the back. The shelves seem to be stocked with all sorts of vials and strange powders and unusual curios and devices that you're not quite sure what they are, but at the back there appears to be a lizard folk with black and orange scales staring up at you with wide eyes, almost looking a little bit suspicious of you.
Hello?
Hey. Welcome. May I help
Ollie?
you?
Yes. Ollie sent us?
Ah, that conniving bastard. Welcome to Biz's Combat Tricks. Tell Ollie I've got his vials. Tell him to drink a whole one. And he reaches down below and puts this clinking sort of like small wooden box that you assume has many of these vials inside.
Yeah, we were sent to pick those up actually for him.
I thought so. He never does his own work. Never lifted a finger in his life, Ollie.
Well, while we're here, he said that we could get some provisions while we were here.
Oh, did he now? That's awful kind of him.
Yeah.
Well, you will be paying for anything you take, or anything you break.
God.
Good to see another lizard folk in town.
Nice to see you two.
I'm wondering what all he got in that crate.
Essential
what is he-
oils. He says they're good for his skin.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, apply twice daily. To anyone you don't like. And this wide, sharp-fanged grin appears on his face. He goes, but really, you'll be welcome here if you're friends of Ollie. I have all sorts of wares. You need weapons? Or you need something else?
Is there anything you guys need? Probably some potions, yeah?
I think that's about it, really, for now.
Well,
Unless Derek needs any sharp implements.
Well, no, I was thinking, seeing if I could get my hands on whatever Ollie seems to have in that box. Maybe I can get some for myself. Maybe add a little more poking power.
Poison? Derek, I am shocked.
We don't sell poison here. It'll be
Sorry.
Oil.
Oils?
Essential
herbal
oils.
Thank you very much. I mean,
My hands have been a little cracked recently.
hey, if you've got the coin, Biz has the solution to your dry skin problems.
Question is, what's the price normally run you for a vial or two of this?
Well, to Ollie I don't charge. He renders me other services. For you, I suppose I'd chuck in a couple of vials. You see how you like it.
That'd be mighty nice, yeah.
Alright. And you notice that he's actually fiddling with like a combination lock on the front of this wooden case. And he reaches down behind the counter and after 3 seconds appears to place a couple more vials in it and then puts it down and locks it again. Because Ollie, I'll give it to you. I put a note in there as well. It's got his order. You claim the extra.
Thanks a lot. What about healing potions? You got any of those around?
We certainly do. Ain't got much tricks in combat if you ain't got one of those. Tell ya.
That's the name of the store.
Aye, that it is. I'll sell you 4 of me regular healing potions on a special rate. 4 for 80 gold.
I've never bought a healing potion in my life. Is that a lot of money?
It'd be cheaper than they normally be.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal.
Now, do we have that kind of money?
I do. I have our fund. Remember?
Yeah,
I can chip in some as well. So, and I feel like
No, well, I mean, I could take it out of our per diem, is what I'm saying.
Oh, didn't we just spend 80 on the crew?
Yes, but we would still. Well, we only have to pay the deposit because then if the academy pay the rest or however it works, it'll be fine.
Yeah, we would still have 110 gold after the deposit. I'm not saying this like out loud, I'm just telling them math wise because we had 150.
Yeah. Well, if it's a good deal, then
I'd say it's a good deal. We each get one.
then let's help our local businesses out then.
All right.
That's a good
Sounds-
attitude.
Did he tell us his name, by the way?
That's Biz.
It's
Fizz.
business combat trick. I assume this is Biz.
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Yeah, Biz sounds like a good deal. I think we'll go for it.
I was wondering if I
Alright.
could try to sweet the deal with you. And I pull
Try
out
away.
the pearl inlaid dagger that I picked up off the captain of the pirates that we killed.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, how much would this run you? Maybe you can make use of it. You got lots of weapons in here, and this is a nicely laid inlaid dagger.
Hey, that's a nice piece. I'm sure somebody picked this up for a good price. You give me the dagger, I cut 10 gold off the price of the potions.
Seems fair enough.
Alright.
Sounds good. So
Please
70
give
gold.
the money.
Yeah.
Cool. So
I
yeah.
will reach
Exchange
into my pocket,
goods.
Trade accepted.
and I will give him the gold.
So Biz takes the gold off you, and without even counting it, he just chucks it in a drawer beside him, and he goes, "I'm glad to be doing business with you. If you're ever in town, remember to pop back in. Can I get you anything else? Any flash powder or... Yeah, I got some grenades. They're real fun.
What? What is that? What's a grenade?
They're new at the factories here. Well, you ever seen a mage make things go kaboom?
We almost did yesterday, but it just stopped before it happened.
It's a bit like that, but you throw it yourself.
How much would that run us?
They're rare. I say each one probably about 50 gold.
How-
And he reaches down below the counter and pulls out this thing that appears to be like almost like a brass baseball made of intricate parts linked together. He's like, this is what they be looking like. Hard to get your hands on. Mostly only the military get them, but old Biz found a way.
I think I kind of lead over to Coraline and be like, have we bought food yet?
They said they would stock our ship for us.
Was that stocking for them for us to actually do the journey, or was that stocking for them to collect goods when we get there?
I mean, they're gonna stock our ship, I imagine, for the journey.
Okay.
That's what he said, anyway. But I mean,
It's up to you guys.
I don't think we can afford it. I think we should just leave it for now. As,
All right.
As fun as they look, Biz, and I do say they look quite fun. Maybe
make
when
it a
we
later
come-
date.
Yeah, when we've come into a bit more gold. we-
All right, I put one behind the counter for you. You're gonna have fun with it one day. And he slides it back down behind the counter.
Brilliant.
Alright.
Well, I think I'll just kind of lift up the crate. And be like, thank you very much, Biz.
It's a pleasure. Tell Ollie to go fuck himself for me. When this Biz turns around and starts arranging things behind him.
I think I'll head out. Just be like, Oz, you can tell him that.
Okay.
All right, let's head out.
All right. So you guys heading back to the docks?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys make your way down the shade and along the main street, past the Galloping Beauty, and eventually you turn the corner round onto the docks where the Lizard's Claw awaits, and you can actually see Ollie standing on the deck, staring down at the mast. He's quite in the distance at this point, but it's too hard to see too much from here, really. But you are back in the docks with the Lizard's Claw.
Do we see any signs of the crew or Brother Homer?
You can't see any signs from where you are, but you're like in the dockside at this point, essentially.
Okay. Well, as we get close to the ship, I would just call up to Ollie. How there? Ahoy! Ahoy, matey!
You'll get the hang of it, mate, don't worry. Hey,
Oz, didn't you have a
come up here.
message?
Yeah, that biz guy said to go fuck yourself. So go fuck yourself, Ollie!
Of course he did. You get that one for free, mate. Alright, get up here. I've got something for you lot to take a look at. Oh, by the way, that crew you sent, I sent them out to stock the ship with food and that, because your mate simply left us something most perplexing. I suggest you come have a look. And he gestures to the gangplank.
We will.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Alright. So you're all brought up onto the ship, and you see now that Ollie is not just staring at the base of the mast. There appears to be like a 6-foot chest. This huge black iron chest that appears to have like blue runic carvings in it. This whole thing kind of hums. It almost like vibrates. And this thing is massive. It's probably about 3 feet tall and 6 foot long. And you can see from under the lid of it that just almost like a vapor seeps out. He goes,
Have you opened it?
absolutely fucking not, mate. I think you can have the pleasure of that. Or don't. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards the latter.
You said that the
Lorraine, you're muted, by the way.
Sorry, I don't think we want to touch that.
Yeah,
What are
I'm
we
pretty
supposed-
sure.
Is this? Are we delivering this? Is that the job? You did say it was a delivery job.
Well, quite frankly, I was off in town seeing some other business. When I came back, this was on the deck. I ain't sure what to do with it, if I'm quite honest.
Can I ritual cast detect magic on it?
Yes. So you spend some minutes musing over the box until eventually your detect magic spell is ready, and it emanates out from you, the aura, and immediately the box lights up, but it's not so much the box itself. There appears to be a faint aura emanating from inside the box, almost as if it was one with the vapors.
So there is something magical inside.
Certainly seems that way.
Well, I think we should take a peek.
it's like you said that it's like slightly ajar enough that vapors are coming out of it.
No,
so
no, it's not
locked.
a jar at all. It's so sorry. The vapors are. Imagine a closed chest. The vapors are like seeping out of the
Seeping
crack.
out of it?
Yeah.
Seeping.
Of this like large like iron sarcophagus essentially.
Is there a padlock or some lock?
No, it just appears to be a
Visibly.
heavy iron lid.
I would clear everybody out of the way if you're gonna open that thing up.
I'm getting up on the fucking poop deck and watching.
Well, should I open it?
I think I'll join you there, Ollie.
Wise choice.
There's
Ollie,
definitely something magical in there, Oz.
Ollie, if there is something magical in there, maybe you should brace ourselves, if that can make any sense, like you did with the lady when we were fighting.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it, I suppose. And he sort of reaches back in his black leather trench coat and just from nowhere seemingly produces a hand crossbow. He goes, well, if you're gonna open the thing, now's a good time.
There's no writing on the chest or anything, right?
Not from what you can see. It appears to just be a very simple black banded iron chest with very faint glyph-like markings almost carved into it.
So shall I open it?
Yeah, give it a shot, Oz.
I'm gonna step back.
All right. If it explodes and kill me, don't change the name of the ship.
All right, fair enough.
I will try and open the lid a crack.
All right, so Oz, as you go up to open this lid, as soon as you touch the chest, it is ice cold. This chest is freezing cold, and you place both your hands on the lid of it, and you slowly start to lift it open. And just as there's enough of a crack to get a peek inside, you see a bright yellow eye open at you, and that's where we'll end the episode for today.
Oh, fuck you!
That's bullshit.
Ooh.
It's Cthulhu.
It's Cthulhu in a box.
You see not one
Oh,
but thousands
man.
of eyes open up in front of you.
You see the screaming void envelop in front of you. So,
That should be fun.
have fun.
Oh,
Good luck.
Oh,
Jesus.
no.
All right. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed playing this evening. I certainly had a lot of fun. Obviously, more of a story-heavy episode, I guess. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
It was great.
It was
very
very
fun.
fun.
Can't wait to die next time.
Oh
We
yeah,
didn't
we-
murder any civilians this time round.
you certainly
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, you managed to
Yes.
not kill anyone for a whole episode. That's a miracle. All right. So, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with the next episode of Black Blade. So until then, it's goodbye from myself. Remember to like the video and all that good stuff. And goodbye from the cast. And we'll see you next time.